Right?
Hello, hello. A very warm and pleasant good morning to all. Thank you for joining us today. I welcome you all to the inaugural session of one day national seminar for correlational research and machine learning techniques for social sciences and management, organized by School of Studies in Business Management, Shahid Tarha Vishwavidyalaya, Bastar. We would like to appreciate the goddesses of wisdom for a blessing and pray to her to bestow upon us additional and future prosperity. To begin the event with a lamp lighting ceremony and a tribute to Master.
Yes.
I request Dr. Sanjeevan Kumar to please sit on the dais. To welcome is to show honor. To welcome is to establish integrity. Let us now start the event with the floral welcome of our dignitaries on the dais and our key speakers who have joined us today through online platform. I would like to invite Dr. Vinod Kumar Soni, convener of today's national seminar and HR head School of Studies and Business Management, to welcome our chief patron and honorable vice chancellor of Regression Methods University by presenting our case. It is my profound pleasure to heartily welcome Professor Rajiv Pandey, former head Department of Statistics and Dean Research, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, who has joined us today on online mode. He has delivered more than 700 lectures in various universities, colleges, and corporate sector. He is a data scientist and co-creator of data analytics course group. He is resourceful for our first technical session and has joined us through Zoom platform. Sir, we warmly welcome you and appreciate your gracious presence. I'm profoundly elated to take an opportunity to welcome our resource person, Professor Masood H. Siddiqui, Professor and Head, Department of Statistics, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, who is an expert in machine learning, analytics, data science, decision modeling, econometrics, multivariate data analysis, and many more such fields. He has also joined us today online. We extend a very warm and cordial welcome to you, sir. I would also like to take the privilege of welcoming our key speaker, Dr. Anup Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of Biostatistics and Health Informatics, Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, who is an expert in research methodology, statistical data analysis, and softwares like R, SPSS, MATLAB, Framework, LaTeX, and other open source software. He is also with us online today. I humbly welcome you, sir. I would now invite Dr. Bhupendra Kumar Verma. I would like to invite Dr. Anubhav Kalode to extend floral welcome to Dr. Sharad Rema, Head School of Studies in Forestry and Wildlife, and Chief Proctor, Shri Mahendra Sharma Vishwavidyalaya. I now invite Dr. Nilesh Tiwari, to welcome Dr. Anand Murthy Mishra, Assistant Professor, School of Studies in Anthropology and Tribal. I would like to invite Ms. Oti Kunja for welcoming Dr. Vinod Kumar Modi, in charge at School of Studies in Business Management and convener of today's national seminar. Now I invite Mr. Raghavendra Patel to welcome Professor Kavar Phule, Head, School of Studies in Anthropology and Tribal Studies, Shahid Mahendra Karma University, Bastar. I invite Ms. Pallavi Singh to welcome Dr. Sajeevan Kumar, Assistant Professor, School of Studies in Forestry and Wildlife, and in charge I invite Dr. Tulika Sharma to welcome Dr. Sukrita Siddi, Assistant Professor, School of Studies in Anthropology and Tribal Studies, and in charge head. I would also like to invite Dr. Rakesh to welcome Dr. Bhuvneshwar Sahu sir, who is Assistant Professor, guest lecturer in the Department of Political Science. So, I would request to Vinod Solis to please. Thank you very much, sir. After this welcome ceremony, I once again extend a very warm welcome to all present here and join online with us. Esteemed dignitaries on the dais, eminent academicians, research scholars, all the participants from various parts of the country, my fellow colleagues and dear students. I, Rashmi Devangan, Organizing Secretary, on behalf of the Organizing Committee, I take this privilege to welcome you all to one national seminar on correlational research and machine learning techniques in social sciences and management, organized by the School of Studies in Business Management, Shahid Mahendra Karma University, Bastar, Jabalpur, Chhattisgarh. While it is obvious to feel happy to deliver the inaugural speech, I am also excited and feel blessed about this role, as this national seminar is organized with an intent of active and interactive learning. As researchers, we constantly seek ways to expand our knowledge and improve our understanding of the way the research is done. In social sciences and management, we are interested to know about the relationship between various variables. Correlational research is one such technique which can provide insight to complex real-world relationships, helping researchers to develop theories and make predictions. Furthermore, findings generated from correlational research can be used for informed decision making. So in our first technical session, our expert, Professor Rajiv Pandey, will share with us the basics of correlational research and its application in social sciences and management. Also, as researchers and professionals, we generally encounter with a large amount of data on the basis of which we have to make decisions. Many of today's leading companies like Facebook, Google, and Google make machine learning a central part of their operations. Machine learning, a subfield of artificial intelligence, extracts meaningful insights from raw data to quickly solve complex data-rich business problems and help with faster and accurate decision making, in forecasting demand accurately, in detecting frauds, interacting with chatbots, sentiment analysis in social media posts, real estate valuation, and so on. In our second technical session, Professor Masood H. Siddiqui will deliver expert talk on the concept and application of machine learning techniques. Also, in most of the questionnaire-based survey research, the researcher encountered with the problem of choosing an appropriate sample size from which statistically significant results can be inferred for the population. Calculating sample size for a variety of research designs can be a difficult task. So in our third technical session, Professor Anup Kumar will tell us about the importance of determining sample size and method by which we can calculate it so as to meet our research objectives and draw meaningful conclusions. Under the leadership and guidance of our patrons, Professor Manoj Kumar Srivastav, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shahid Mahendra Karma University, and his continuous support from us and from the registrar, the Department of Management has organized this seminar for the first time in hybrid platform. And it gives me immense pleasure to share with you all that more than 250 participants from various parts of the state and country have registered for today's seminar and are participating in both online and offline learning. I hope this seminar will be a valuable and informative experience for all of us. Let us make the most of this opportunity and learn something new and exciting, as we have an exciting lineup of topics for the day. With these words, I would now invite Dr. Vinod Kumar Soni, convener of today's national seminar, to address the gathering.
On behalf of Shahid Mahendra Karma Vishwavidyalaya, Bastar, and organizing secretary, managing committees of lesson seminar, and my part also, I again welcome you all in this academic program, one day lesson seminar on correlational research and machine learning techniques for social sciences and management. Most respected Professor Kumar Srivastav, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this one-day program, I also heartily welcome sir in this seminar, who is connected with the online board, most respected Professor Raju Pandey, former head Department of Statistics and Dean Research, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. I also welcome to most respected Professor Masood H. Siddiqui, Head Department of Statistics, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, and special guest of today's program. I also welcome to respected Dr. Anup Kumar, Associate Professor, Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences, Lucknow, and special guest of today's program. I welcome to respected Professor Sarad Neman, Head of the Department as well as Forestry and Wildlife, and special guest of this program. I welcome to respected Professor Sakal Kumar Professor, Head School of Studies in Anthropology and Tribal Studies, and special guest of today's program. I also welcome to Dr. Anand Murthy Misra, Dean Student Welfare, as well as Anthropology and Tribal Studies. I also welcome to Dr. Sanjeevan Kumar, Dr. Smita Madam, Dr. Bhuveshwar Kumar, Dr. Swan Vishwasa, and all faculty members present for the today's national seminar, and all other participants of different schools and universities. It is a pleasure of great, it is a matter of great pleasure for us to organize this national seminar for the betterment of academic members, research scholars, and students, and all the participants also. This seminar is also important for the improving the knowledge in statistical tools and techniques and research and quality education at the science of as we all are aware that in a statistical study, which may be scientific, economic, social studies, or machine learning, sometimes we come across many problems involving two or more variables. In this direction, correlational research is a type of non-experimental research in which the researcher measures two variables and assess the statistical relationship. Findings from correlational research can be used to determine prevalence and relationship among variables and to forecast events from current data and knowledge. Correlation facilitates the decision making in the business world. It reduces the range of uncertainty as prediction based on correlation are likely to be more reliable and near reality. After that, correlation is highly applied techniques in machine learning during data analysis and data mining. In present scenario, the importance and scope of machine learning techniques are frequently used in research and development sector worldwide. The machine learning techniques and their applicability in various real world application domains such as healthcare and drug discovery research, cybersecurity system, e-commerce, agriculture, and many more areas. So today we are teaching many lectures and understand the correlational research and machine learning techniques by our today's respected speakers in the one-day national seminar on correlational research and machine learning techniques for social science and management. This one-day seminar will open the opportunity to the faculty members, research scholars, and students in extending their views and ideas. And we will definitely get the best national seminar goals. So thanks to all the respected eminent professors, resource persons, all respected teachers, and all participants for their warm participation in this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir has very well introduced us with the problems that we encounter in reality in understanding and carrying out research. Also, in present scenario, he has explained how machine learning is used in different fields such as cybersecurity, banking system, and other areas, and how this seminar is going to benefit us all by giving new insights. Thank you so much, sir. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Mahendra Karma University, Professor Manoj Kumar Srivastava, who is a man of distinct vision and a powerhouse of knowledge, in whose continuous motivation and guidance encourage us to engage in knowledge sharing and learning activities. Sir, I would humbly request you to come on the podium and address the gathering.
One day national seminar on correlational research and machine learning techniques political sciences and management. They invited speaker, my friend and my senior colleague, Professor Ravi Pandey, is doing research from the University. He was ex statistics, is a leading data scientist in India, has delivered more than 3,700 invited talks on different areas of data science and statistics. And the consultant to the government of India, organizations and corporate bodies. They invited speaker, Professor Masood S. Siddiqui, who is presently professor and head of the Department of Statistics in Lucknow University, a data science expert, a data analyst, and have contributed several books on statistics for management and is a well-acclaimed statistician. Our invited speaker, Dr. Anup Kumarji, he is associate professor in the Department of Biostatistics and Health Informatics in Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate School of Medical Sciences, Lucknow. A very young colleague of mine and has taught statistics and statistical applications in biological sciences in the capacity of a professor and has done lot of research in various institutions. And he is treated as youngest expert on SPSS. And he's also expert on LaTeX, open source programming languages like R. And recently I have come to know that he's working on the R Markdown for a lifelong documentation. And a huge list of invited talks on research methodology and lot of applications on medical science. Dr. Abhishek Bajpayee of the Star and Marketing is not here because of some engagement. My senior colleague and professor, Dr. Sharanemaji, Dr. Saban Guleji, Dr. Sajivan Kumarji, Dr. Surita Delphi, Dr. Anand Murthy Mishraji, and my other colleagues, young colleagues, Dr. Pallavi, Dr. Sahu, Dr. Mulika Sharma, Dr. Akash from Department of Department of Journalism, Mr. Vinod Kumar Sanghi, the convener of the seminar, Dr. Rashmi Devangar, organizing secretary of the seminar, and the entire organizing committee, Dr. Nilesh Tiwari, Dr. Bhupendra Verma, Dr. Anubhav Mandeli, Dr. Raghavendra Reddy, Dr. Kushin Punjamji, and all the participants who have joined us online and offline, our own students and other faculty members. My very good morning to everyone and greetings of the day. I extend my 30th congratulations to the convener, Dr. Vinod Kumar Sanghi, and the organizing secretary, Dr. Rashmi Devangar, and the entire team from the Department of Management. And I appreciate their efforts for organizing such a meaningful and relevant seminar in the context of data analysis, a very useful and competent for social science researchers, academicians, and those who are involved in policy making and management practices. I extend my gratitude and sincere thanks to Professor Rajiv Pandey, who has been generously helping our university right from the beginning and conceptualizing the seminar till the end of its organizing in every best possible manner. And my thanks to Professor Masood S. Siddiqui for accepting our invitation as invited speaker. I also extend my thanks to my young colleague, Dr. Anu Martin, for accepting our invitation as invited speaker. And my request, special request, take a full session on sample size determination in questionnaire based study. I welcome all the participants and colleagues who have joined us in the seminar, online and offline. I hope you will enjoy different technical sessions with our prominent speakers who have been incredible research work, and they have delivered not many talks across the country in the world. I will draw small outline of the goal, like things that we have already drawn attention to different aspects. The researchers, like the individual scientists, the academicians, decision-making officials, and those who are involved in management operations. They all require to meet of different objectives and inference. They need to reach at for decision making. And with this objective, they propose or frame a research design. As a part of research design, the researcher collects information on a certain part of the population or sample suitably selected with the help of different sampling techniques such as simple random sampling, stratified sampling, probability population size, cluster sampling, two-stage sampling, and systematic sampling. Various long list of sampling procedures depending on the variable in which or the objective in which the researcher is interested in, and the availability of sampling frame of the entire population. And also on the basis of the research design and the objective, one also draw a design of an experiment and collect this information. And here comes the idea of sample size determination. So organizers have designed and planned one separate session. One separate session on sample size determination, especially for those who are involved in social science surveys and in management. Having obtained information on a suitably selected sample, one has data. The data is coded, it is cleaned, filtered, and in that case, the researcher lead is objective, thus data analysis. And by doing data analysis, it deals with different estimation of population parameter and testing of hypothesis kind of things. And he uses the univariate techniques such as non-parametric statistics and parametric statistics, depending upon the nature and the distributional aspects of the variable that one considers, whether the distributional assumptions are satisfied or distributional assumptions are not. In situations where the researcher has a lot of information on several variables, such techniques are called multivariate techniques. And these techniques broadly divided into two categories. One is the dependence technique and another the independence. In dependence techniques, we talk about the analysis of variance and regression analysis, the discriminant analysis, one-kind analysis, multivariate analysis of variance, and canonical correlation. And the second part deals with the independence techniques. By using independent techniques, if you are focusing on the variable reduction of the variable, reduction of the dimension of the independent variable space, then in that case, one uses the factor analysis, exploratory factor analysis, comparative factor analysis, and with more complex models where dependent variable becomes independent variables and other complex equations, one deals with the path analysis and structural equation. And if the focus is on the object, then one uses the cluster analysis and multi-dimensional scale. But today, the organizers have proved that they will concentrate only on the dependence, structure, and dependence analysis. There will be a separate session. We have witnessed that in the last 2 decades, since the introduction of the internet and the social media, there is influx of data. And that comes in terabytes, gigabytes, and one cannot store it in a common computer, it has to be stored in clouds. The property of the data is it has a very high velocity, very high value, very high variety, but with low latency and low velocity. That is the property of and the reliability of the data. The data is generally not structured, sometimes it is semi-structured, and the traditional statistical tools fail to analyze it. Now, this is the thing. And in that case, the big data analysis is used to extract meaningful information from such complex information society. Coming out with the properties of the data is stemming from the information exposed. Machine learning as a part of artificial intelligence, which I think is a multidisciplinary technique, where computer science is used, where a lot of mathematical dimensionality and optimality procedures of mathematics and statistics are used. The statistical models are used in machine learning, and many other disciplines comes and give contribution to machine learning. To me, machine learning is the interdisciplinary concept where one has a generic algorithm and one has the data structure, one has a training data, and the generic algorithm, that is machine learns from the training data with the help of statistical tools, with the help of the neural network, multi-dimensional loss functions. We talk about optimization and tangent to different multi-dimensional curves and that. And the training data is used in different cycles to learn, to make the machine learn of the data. That comes from cycle to cycle to cycle, we call it clock. And ultimately, going through different processes and works, machine modeling gets validated. Then one has a testing data where saturated machine learning model used and tested. You must be inquisitive to know why machine learning. Give some of your answer. These statistical models are designed for inference about the relationship between the data. When we talk about model fit, we talk about whether a coefficient of a particular variable is statistically significant, contributing in the model. Or we talk about the interval estimation. But in every inference process, the main component is its interpretability. That is what it is emphasized. Now, however, the statistical models too are capable of predictions, because generally the machine learning models are more for predicting something Like if you look at the X-ray images, the spot, and the machine learning helps us in diagnosing whether a spot indicates cancer. Like for example, our organizer and I've already explained different aspects of machine learning. The speech text writing what we use in notes is one example. The instructions given in Alexa or search or songs is also machine learning. The identification of real-time arbitrage opportunity available stock market is also machine learning. So a lot of predictions are involved in it. It depends on data you have, and it depends what research design suggests and what is your objective. That determines the application of the statistical procedure and machine learning. We do not claim that machine learning is a glorified form of statistical methods. In statistical methods and models, they are also capable of prediction, but prediction accuracy is not statistical. Whereas machine learning models provide various degrees of interpretability, from highly interpretable natural regression to impredictable neural networks. But they generally sacrifice interpretability on the grounds of attaining high prediction power. That makes the difference. And it is very well known that machine learning models are very rich in terms of prediction accuracy. So that is how when these organizers met me and we discussed the topic of the seminar. We wanted to give exposure to our own students and researchers and faculty members who are involved in empirical research, not theoretical research. Give a spectrum of statistical tools available in classical statistical models and statistics and the modern data-based computing-centric latest technologies like a part of artificial intelligence known as machine learning techniques and data analytics. So a separate technical session has been contributed specifically for machine learning and its applications in social sciences and management in particular. That is how this seminar has been designed, and I'm very happy with the Department of Management, Professor Soni and his entire team, Dr. Rashmi. They have worked very hard because they have been working in Department of Management, only teaching management and its applications. But to me, statistics itself is a multidisciplinary concept, and more so the machine learning and artificial intelligence. Our students and researchers and the professors who are involved in empirical research
Please join us for the technical session after 15 minutes. Thank you. Thank you again for joining in inaugural session.
Why am I making separate?
Please stay here for the tea break. The refreshments and the tea breaks will be served for the students here. And I request all the dignitaries to please proceed for refreshment. Thank you.
15 minutes and 10.
One, two.
कितना चालू कर
खाली खाली मैडम को फोकस करो बस। वही तो कर रहा हूँ, पूरा ऐसा तो कर रहे तो फिर क्या कर दूँ?
Once again, I welcome you all. We are going to start our first technical session. Before start of the first technical session, I would also like to welcome Dr. Sanjay Dogre, Assistant Librarian from Sri Venkatasarma Vishwavidyalaya, for his guidance and support. I would like to welcome Dr. Shoaib Ansari, Assistant Librarian, Government PG College, Jabalpur, for extending technical support to us. For our first Steve Pandey, who is a data scientist and a leader of data analytics core group and a professor, former head in the Department UGI, UGC academics, college coordinator, UGC with examinations, treasurer, degree, Lucknow University, affiliate.
हाँ मैडम ना कुछ नहीं ठीक ओके ओके
Hello,
Hello.
is my voice audible?
Yeah, Rasmi audible.
Once again, I welcome Professor Rajiv Pandey, sir. He is a data scientist and a group leader of Data Analytics Core Group, professor and former head in the Department of Statistics and Dean Research, University of Lucknow. He has held a number of administrative positions in University of Lucknow, such as Deputy Director, UGC Academic Staff College, Coordinator UGC for Net Examinations, Chief Admission Coordinator, Treasurer and Secretary, Lucknow University Athletic Association, Superintendent of Examinations and Results, and so on. He has been an expert member of Panchayat Raj Committee of First Finance Commission of Uttarakhand. He is a member of International Society of Bayesian Analysis, USA, a member of NRDMS, Uttaranchal. He is a life member of ICISBA, India, and he is a member of various academic bodies in a number of universities in India. He has taken 4 major projects sponsored by UGC, DST, and Government of Uttarakhand. He has supervised a number of scholars for PhD degrees. He is an expert member in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh Public Service Commissions, and in staff selection missions, UGC, UPSC, CSIR, CDRI, SGPGI, and various universities in state and central government institutes all across the country. He is a member in advisory board of Psychotechnical Directorate, Ministry of Indian Railways. He has delivered more than 3,700 invited lectures at various universities, government and corporate sectors in various topics, especially in communications in statistics, SPSS, MCMC, statistical computing, machine learning algorithm, simulation, Bayesian predictive modeling, and Python programming. He is also a data consultant to various government and corporate sectors. He is also involved in tackling various genuine problems. Sir, please start with your technical session.
Okay, thank you. My voice is audible or not? Hello, Rasmi.
Sir, your voice is audible.
And my presentation is visible or not? I have shared my...
Your presentation is visible, sir.
Okay, so should I continue?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Okay, dear friends, this great opportunity for me to deliver a talk on correlational techniques, correlational research for management and social science person in the national seminar being organized by Sain Mahendra Kumar Vishwavidyalaya, Bastar. Thank you for all for inviting me, and I am going to start my technical session. This is just a my name, Rajiv Pandey. I am basically a data scientist. I am also known as R Bayesian. R is not for Rajiv. And my email and phone number is there. The most efficient way to contact me, you go on Data Analytics Core Group website and go to the contact us. If any one of you is facing that which type of tools is to be used for the data analysis, you may have to simply write down the problem and Mr. Asus, please unmute. Please mute your Mr. Asus, please mute.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So I was telling you about the data analytics core group that if you all social scientists or any person who is facing a problem in dealing with the data analysis and they are unable to use the which tool of the statistic is best for the analysis or there is a problem, then you may freely go to the contact us of this website and just write down your problem, what type of problem you are facing. And you send your email chat box, and then within a week you will get the solution that which is the best tool or the appropriate tool of statistics from our this group. We are having 21 professors all across the India, one from Delhi, one from Aligarh, and from Kumayu, and so many professors involved in statistics are there. You may also visit this website. And you will be surprised to know that we have resolved more than 40,000 problems all across the globe during last 5 years. Free of cost. There you will have to pay nothing for this analysis. So that will be a best way to contact me this. I have delivered more than 35,000 lectures, invited talks at various platforms for the topic SPSS. You might be using a statistical software, Stata and R. And presently I am engaged with Python and analysis, big data analysis, Monte Carlo, Markov chain, machine learning, Bayesian predictive modeling, and presently data consultant in government and private sectors. Before I start to deliver a talk, as a statistician, I always share these few lines. Please read few lines that if your facts are dull, then people are interesting. Whatever we are going to present, यदि हम, is it comfortable to be bilingual? From my side,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That will be much better, I think, because some of our research students are not conversant in English. So what I want to share, that if facts are dull, then people are interested. लोगों को मजा आने लगता है. And if there is a conflict, that will stimulate interest. यदि आपके और हमारे बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगा ऑडियंस और बोलने वाले में, तो हमेशा इंटरेस्ट बढ़ता है. Poor performance skills. If whatever I am going to represent in a PhD viva or in a project submission report or something, then that always kills our interest. And if there is a complexity, then that will lead to a confusion, not interest. And it is a very common that monotony listener, you can't have both. I have been assigned by your Vice Chancellor to deliver a talk on correlational research. Before I start the basic concepts of correlational research, which are generally used by social scientists and business administration departments researchers, I will just brief give the brief flavor of statistics, which is very keen of interest. First of all, I just want to say that what is statistics. Actually, the purpose of statistics is to develop and apply methodology for extracting useful knowledge from both experiments and data. Here, the experiment does not mean that whatever the conducting in physics lab or chemistry lab or somewhere else. It is also a type of survey which we are conducting at marketing research or for market, or in social scientists we are visiting the villages for collecting the data. As Professor Srivastava in his welcome address deliver a talk with a very high spectral of statistical tools, but we should know the basic concepts. If you recall your study of high school level or I think in class 12th level, then the collection, analysis and interpretation of data is known as to be statistics. The main focus of statistics is that, but my opinion is totally different. I say that statistics and mathematics are not subject as your business administration or as social work, sociology, anthropology like this. My idea is that whole science in the universe has been categorized into two categories. One is social sciences, the other one is fundamental science. Whenever there is a problem in analyzing the data of fundamental science, or there is a problem in analyzing the data gathered by
Hello?
social. Hello.
Sir, your
Hello.
voice is not audible.
Is it not still clear?
It's clear now, sir.
Now am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so my opinion is totally different in this way, that so statistics is basically neither really a science nor a branch of mathematics. It perhaps best considered as a meta science for dealing with the data collection, analysis and interpretation. The brief history, I am just telling that the word statistics have been derived from Latin word status. The meaning of this word was political state. You might have heard, read the various drama played of Shakespeare. In 1602, Hamlet drama was written by Shakespeare, and there was a word statistics. The Roman Empire was the first states to extensively gather data on the size of the empire's population, their agriculture area, their agriculture fields, geographical. This is just I am sharing the knowledge of statistics. And now, after 20th century, these days the availability of electronic computers are there, and definitely there is a modern development of statistics. Now, this I am sharing basically the timeline of statistics. In ancient Greece periods, philosophers Aristotle and Plato came, who developed the idea of qualitative analysis. You might have heard the probability. What is the meaning of अक्सर हम लोग probability की बात करते हैं, या हर जगह अभी टेस्ट ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस की बात की जा रही थी लेक्चर्स में, जो कि कहते हैं इनवाइटेड डिस्कशन पे. प्रोबेबिलिटी का मतलब क्या है? क्वालिटेटिव. तो it was the concept of ancient Greece philosophers and Aristotle and Plato that whatever is certain in earth, that is in the hands of God. ईश्वर के हाथ पे ही जो कुछ लिखा होता है वही यहाँ पर होता है. आज हमारा आपके साथ इंटरेक्शन होना तय था, दैट इज इन द हैंड्स ऑफ गॉड। मैं यहां से लेक्चर दे रहा हूं, आप वहां पर सुन रहे हैं, आपको कुछ नॉलेज बढ़ेगी। Therefore, in the universe, the idea of these philosophers were to say, to find certainty in a situation of uncertainty, where we are living in an uncertain situation. हो सकता हो अभी हम यहाँ पर लेक्चर दे रहे हूं और लेंथ करने के बाद स्टेयर केस से मैं नीचे जाऊं या कार चला के अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी जाऊं, and I will meet an accident, and during that accident I will be no more. So therefore we are living in an uncertainty. To find the certainty in a situation of uncertainty is the definition of probability that was developed by Aristotle and Plato. Later on, I am saying that a professor of philosophy, Hume came. He raised a question to Hume, Plato and Aristotle. उसने एक बड़ा एग्जाम्पल दिया था। उस एग्जाम्पल को हम दूसरी तरीके से इन माई वर्ड्स आपको बता रहे हैं। मान लीजिए मिस्टर ए ने मिस्टर बी को दिन के 2 बजे एक बहुत बड़ी बाजार में
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Your voice is again not audible.
Now it is clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whatever I
Hello?
want. Hello. Now it is clear.
Sir, it is not audible.
Sir, audible है.
Yes, sir. Sir, please.
Hello. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
It is clear now.
Yes, sir, it is clear, sir. You can continue.
Okay. So I was telling about the basic concepts of probability, the level, the statistical significance concept. The probability theory was explained most of the times in statistics. It is asked that what is the probability? The person reply that a number of favorable cases divided by the total number of sample points in the sample space is the probability. But this is not the exact definition. In the qualitative analysis, the Aristotle and Plato developed the concept that we are living in an uncertain world and we have to find the certainty in a situation of uncertainty. Later on, a professor of philosophy, Hume, came. He asked a very pertinent question, which I am telling you in a very simple way. मान लीजिए मिस्टर ए ने मिस्टर बी को भरी मार्केट में दिन के 2 बजे रिवॉल्वर से 1 मीटर के डिस्टेंस से गोली से शूट कर दिया। तो हुआ क्या? ए ने तो फायर किया, बी की डेथ हो गई। वहां पर जो 10,000 की गैदरिंग थी, उन लोगों ने वहां पर मिस्टर ए को पकड़ लिया और पुलिस को हैंडओवर कर दिया। मिस्टर बी के लिए ये कहा गया, जिसकी मौत हुई थी, कि बी की मौत ऊपर वाले के हाथ से लिखी हुई थी। दिन के 2 बजे भरी मार्केट में 10,000 पब्लिक के बीच में, तो इसलिए वो मर गया। दैट इज सर्टेन इन द हैंड्स ऑफ गॉड। लेकिन हुआ क्या? दूसरी तरफ ए को पकड़ लिया गया, पब्लिक ने, क्राउड ने पकड़ा और पुलिस को हैंडओवर कर दिया। चोरी का केस हुआ। जूरी ने आफ्टर 6 मंथ डिसीजन दे दिया, ए शुड बी हैंग टिल डेथ, मतलब फांसी की सजा सुना दी। और हुआ भी यही। तब ह्यूम ने एरिस्टोटल एंड प्लूटो से कहा कि बी की मौत दिन के 2 बजे भरी मार्केट में 10,000 पब्लिक के साथ लिखी हुई थी, इसलिए तो वो सर्टेन था कोर्ट का। लेकिन एक ही मौत कौन दे रहा है? तो उन्होंने कहा जूरी या जज। तो क्या जज गॉड हो गया या खुदा हो गया? द क्वेश्चन, द डेफिनेशन ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस एंड प्रोबेबिलिटी वाज चेंज्ड टू फाइंड द मॉरल सर्टेनिटी in a situation of uncertainty become the definition of probability. जो सिग्निफिकेंस या आप लोग पी वैल्यू निकालते हैं अपने रिसर्च पे, तो टू फाइंड द मॉरल सर्टेनिटी, जज की मॉरलिटी बन गई ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द एविडेंसेस व्हिच वाज प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द पब्लिक और द पुलिस ऑन द कोर्ट. So that's why these are the some basic key points which we do as a researcher whenever we are dealing with the statistical tools and techniques. Now you see, in 18th century, Laplace and Gauss, I will discuss a little bit about normal curve regression through astronomy. Astronomy was the main subject, and you will be surprised to know nowadays still statistics is widely applicable in astronomy. And later on, Quetelet and Galton, Francis Galton was the first person who developed the concept of correlational research. I will later on come to this. Is the just a time 20th century, Kendall, Tuckey, Dennis, Quells, etc. came to this. Nowadays, the definition of statistics is changed. Statistics is now a science of getting informed decisions. What is data? Our Professor Vice Chancellor was discussing about data so many times in his very speech that data analysis. Now, my question is that what is the data? Data are the facts, which are especially numerically facts collected together for reference or certain information. Then we apply some statistical tools and we get the informations, knowledge communication concerns some practical facts. So now the US persons, the statisticians of USAs are changing this definition of statistics, which the earlier in our age, and when I was an undergraduate or since 80s, the definition of statistics was the collection, analysis, and interpretation of a numerical set of observation is known as statistics. But now this is the scene for statistics. And this is the taxonomy of statistical methods that whenever we apply in social sciences and business administration techniques, there are two categories. One is descriptive statistics and other one is inferential methods or inferential statistics. In descriptive methods, we discuss univariate, where it is very important to study shape, center, spread, and their relative positions. And whenever we are having more than two variates, then we should study the correlation and regression. Today, I shall discuss in detail the concept of this. And inferential methods, there are a lot of techniques we social scientists are using for comparing groups. We are applying t-test, ANOVA test, and so many discuss. There is a concept of perceptions in statistics, as Professor Srivastava was discussing regarding the parametric and non-parametric. Here I am showing a slide with some blocked figures. Blocked figures are black blocked figures in two rows. And I am saying that I have written two words of English having three letters each. अंग्रेजी के दो शब्द हमने लिखे हैं, तीन तीन अक्षर उसमें है। स्मॉल ए आपको दिखाई दे रहा होगा, दैट इज टू ओरिएंट द स्लाइड। एक लाइन ऊपर ब्लैक फिगर्स लिखी हुई है, नीचे ब्लैक फिगर लिखी हुई है, और मैं आपकी तरफ से जानना चाहता हूं कि आप लोग इस स्लाइड को यदि देख रहे हैं तो क्या आप में से कोई बता सकता है कि इसमें अंग्रेजी के कौन से दो शब्द हमने लिखे हैं जिनमें तीन तीन अक्षर है? एक ऊपर लिखा है, एक नीचे है। यदि कोई तो अपना ऑडियो खोल के हमें बताए। इफ एनीवन कैन रिकॉग्नाइज, किसी स्लाइड आप लोगों को दिखाई दे रही है बड़ी?
Yes, sir. See.
Now, can you identify the words? नहीं पहचान में आ रहा है? There are two words of English having three letters in each. क्लियर कर रहे हैं हम आपको। Anyone who can recognize, any student?
Sir, H.
No. Now I think it is clear. FLYTIE, fly and tie. क्लियर हुआ अभी?
Yes, sir.
देखिए, जब हम पहले स्लाइड आपको ये दिया था और व्हेन आई रेज दिस क्वेश्चन, तब हमने आपसे कहा कि अंग्रेजी के दो शब्द आप मुझे बताइए जिसमें तीन अक्षर प्रत्येक में लिखे हैं। तब आपका कंसंट्रेशन किधर गया? ब्लैक पर, कि पहला ऊपर पी जैसा कुछ दिखाई दे रहा है, फिर ओ या डी जैसा दिखाई दे रहा है, फिर एच जैसा दिखाई दे रहा है, बट यू आर नॉट concentrating on the white portion, you are concentrating on the black portion. और जैसे ही हमने इस स्लाइड को इस तरीके से स्केच पेन से मिलाकर ड्रॉ कर दिया, तो देखिए अब आप यदि व्हाइट पोर्शन पे कंसंट्रेट करें तो FLY आपको क्लियर विजिबल होगा और नीचे TIE क्लियर विजिबल होगा। इस परसेप्शन स्लाइड्स का कॉन्सेप्ट हमारा सिर्फ इतना यही है कि हम ये जानते ही नहीं है कि स्टैटिस्टिक्स के किस टूल को कहां पर यूज किया जाना है। दिस इज द आवर प्रॉब्लम। हम लोग बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं, मल्टी डायमेंशनल स्केलिंग की, करेस्पॉन्डेंस एनालिसिस की, फैक्टर एनालिसिस की, मशीन लर्निंग की। अरे मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट ये है कि पहले जिस स्टैटिस्टिक्स को हम जानना चाहते हैं उसका बैकड्रॉप क्या है, बैकग्राउंड क्या है। वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स। यदि हम आपसे अभी एक बड़ा सिंपल क्वेश्चन पूछें कि लखनऊ से छत्तीसगढ़ तक मैं एक ट्रेन से आ रहा हूं, 40 किलोमीटर पर आवर स्पीड है और लौट रहा हूं 60 किलोमीटर पर आवर स्पीड से। लखनऊ से छत्तीसगढ़ में ऐसी ट्रेन से गया जिसकी स्पीड 50 किलोमीटर थी और जब वहां से लौटा तो उसकी स्पीड 60 किलोमीटर हो गई। माय क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज द एवरेज स्पीड ऑफ द ट्रेन? अधिकतर आप उत्तर ये देंगे 40 + 60/2 यानी कि 50 इमीडिएट, बट द आंसर इज रॉन्ग। आंसर कम्स आउट टू बी 48.2 किलोमीटर पर सेकेंड पर आवर। मीन्स की वी हैव टू फाइंड हियर द हार्मोनिक मीन। तो माय सबमिशन टू ऑल रिसर्चर हियर इज टू, आप स्टैटिस्टिक्स की बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हो, चाहे मशीन लर्निंग की बात कर रहे हो, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात कर रहे हो, स्टैटिस्टिक्स के बड़े बड़े टूल्स की यूज कर रहे हो, आप बेसिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स के जो रियल कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं उनको जरूर पढ़िए। सिमिलर वे ऑफ slide. Just my wife asked me that are you happily married with me? My answer is like this: yes, 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 and then तो व्हाट आई वांट टू से दैट कि रिसर्च के बाद जो भी हम आउटपुट देते हैं वो क्या है. सिमिलरली द परसेप्शन इज लाइक दैट. The man on the left side is saying that there are 4 bars, while on the left, he is saying the 3 bars. So these type of perceptions should be avoided whenever we are dealing with the statistical analysis. Now, whenever we have to analyze data, the graphical representation is must. Though we cannot get the exact result, but by submission to all that to see the graphical presentation, either by machine learning techniques or different libraries which are available for the ggplot as in R software, matplotlib in Python, etc. like this. The very important issue is that whether our data is univariate or bivariate. यदि हम 2 से ज्यादा या 2 से अधिक वेरिएबल्स को हम स्टडी कर रही हैं, तब भी उसका ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन हमको देखकर एक वे आउट पता कर लेना चाहिए कि क्या आउटकम पॉसिबल हमारा है. न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू जो आएंगी उसके लिए हमारे पास बॉक्स प्लॉट, हिस्टोग्राम, स्टेम लीफ टेक्निक्स हैं. इनको भी रिसर्च आउटकम में आप जरूर पढ़िए. यू सी दिस पिक्चर. यदि आप इस पिक्चर को कंसंट्रेट करके देखें तो ऑल आर सीप्स, सब आपको सीप जैसे दिखाई दे रहे हैं, बट दिस वन इज गोट. एक बीच में आपको गोट दिखाई दे रही होगी ब्लैक कलर की. दिस इज टू बी ट्रीटेड एज एन आउटलायर. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन आवर बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के जो लोग हैं. इसका एक्सपीरियंस मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि जब मार्केटिंग रिसर्च का या मॉल का डेटा या किसी भी प्रकार का बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का डेटा हम लोग जब लेते हैं तो हमेशा डेटा की क्लीनिंग करने के बाद हमारा रियल डेटा या वैलिडेटेड डेटा 1/3 रह जाता है. इसीलिए अभी प्रोफेसर अनूप आपको सैंपल साइज डिटर्मिनेशन की बात करेंगे अपने लास्ट लेक्चर पे. लेकिन मार्केटिंग रिसर्च का डेटा या बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का डेटा यदि आपने 10,000 लिया है तो जब आप वैलिडेट करेंगे या क्रॉस वैलिडेशन करके उसकी रिलायबिलिटी टेस्ट करके निकालेंगे, तब आपका जो सैंपल साइज होगा वो 3,000 के आसपास होगा. यानी कि 1/3 करीब रह जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ द आउटलायर्स प्रेजेंट. और अक्सर स्टडीशियंस ये कह देते हैं कि आप ये एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं और ये डेटा में यदि ये चीजें आपकी आउटमैन है तो इसको हटा दी. देयर आर 2 मेथड्स, स्वैम्पिंग एंड मॉस्किंग मेथड, फॉर डीलिंग सच टाइप ऑफ आउटलायर्स एज यू आर दिस गोट, ब्लैक गोट इज. नाउ द रोल ऑफ नॉर्मलिटी के बारे में बात करी गई थी अभी प्रोफेसर श्रीवास्तव के द्वारा कि पैरामेट्रिक एंड नॉन पैरामेट्रिक स्टडी के द्वारा. You are very familiar with the concept of normal distribution. थोड़ा सी इसके बारे में जान लेते हैं फिर हम लोग. Many statistical methods require that numerical variables we are working with have an approximate normal distribution like this. Means that if the data is lying between 1 to plus minus 1%, then it is 68% data is our normal. And if it is lying between 2 to -2, then it is 95% data is normal. But if it is 3 to -3 to +3, then it is 99.7% data is normal. And when we can go for the parametric tests or the regression analysis, as I shall discuss. अक्सर हम लोग रियल लाइफ पर इंडिया के अंदर इतना डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का डेटा है, मेडिकल हेल्थ केयर का डेटा है, एजुकेशन सेक्टर का डेटा है, बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का डेटा है, तमाम रेलवेज का डेटा है, इतने किसी भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का डेटा आप उठा लीजिए किसी भी सेक्टर का, चाहे वो एजुकेशन सेक्टर हो, हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर हो, एविएशन का हो, एयरप्लेन का हो, या क्या कोई डेटा ISO 9001 या अब तो 9015 हो गया सर्टिफिकेशन को सर्टिफाई करता है? या जैसे हम लोग मार्केट में जाते हैं, परचेज करते हैं, ISI मार्का का हमें फ्रिज चाहिए या हमें कुकर चाहिए, प्रेशर कुकर, या ISO स्टैंडर्ड का डेटा होता है। पूरे हिंदुस्तान में मैं आप ऑडियंस से क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूं, सिर्फ एक डेटा ऐसा है भारत सरकार का ये या पूरे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट 29 स्टेट्स का डेटा यदि हम देखें, किसी भी सेक्टर का डेटा नॉर्मल फॉलो नहीं होता है। और जब नॉर्मल फॉलो नहीं होगा तो कैन वी एबल टू अप्लाई द स्टैटिस्टिकल नॉन पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट और पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट, or we can apply the regression concept, or we can have the significance of correlation? Not at all. But I am saying that only one data in our country is normal with the 200% efficiency. Can anybody know this data? कौन सा डेटा ऐसा है? गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में, रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया का डेटा, सेंट्रल पॉलिटिक्स का कोई डेटा आप उठा लीजिए, या इंडियन रेलवेज का एविएशन का डेटा ले लीजिए, मेडिकल हेल्थ केयर का डेटा ले लीजिए, या किसी स्टेट का डेटा आप ले लीजिए, नो डेटा इज नॉर्मल, ओनली वन डेटा इज नॉर्मल। कोई बता सकता है वो डेटा नॉर्मल कौन सा है? मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, मुंबई डब्बा वाला। यदि आप मुंबई डब्बा वाला गूगल में सर्च करें या यूट्यूब में डालें, तो मुंबई शहर के अंदर 40 लाख लोगों को अप्रोक्सीमेटली टिफिन सवेरे 10:45 पर पहुंचाने वाले जो लोग हैं, आपने देखा होगा सर में वो रखकर 25-25 टिफिन, 50-50 टिफिन जो है लेकिन दौड़ते हुए लोकल ट्रेन से पहुंचते हैं। दैट डेटा जो है वो स्टडीशन ने अभी हम लोगों ने नॉर्मल माना है। पिछले 45 साल से इरेगुलर सर्विसेज दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग, और उनसे सिर्फ गलती सिर्फ 40 साल में 40 लाख लोगों को डेटा टिफिन पहुंचाने में सिर्फ 4 बार प्रॉब्लम आई है। 4 प्रॉब्लम, वो भी एकदम एलिजिबिलिटी की मिस्टर ए का टिफिन मिस्टर बी के पास पहुंच गया और बी का टिफिन सी के पास पहुंच गया। दैट इज द ओनली डेटा विच इज फॉलोइंग द 99.7% of data is non-normal. In Bangalore and Hyderabad, I am going to deliver a talk on 6 sigma limit. Now this is the 3 sigma limit. So therefore, we can apply the basic concepts of statistics in our machine learning approach or in computer technology only when our data is normal. So if your data is not normal, you can increase the sample size, and the sample size determination can be done, will be taught by Dr. Anup, how that can be visualized. So this is my submission, that whenever you are going to apply the standardized normal distribution or empirical rule proceedings, you are applying, when you are using t-test or f-test or regression analysis or any parametric test, your data should be well approximately normally distributed. This is my important submission to all of you, that first you check the normality of the test, and later on this as a research methodology you have studied the nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. These are the sub characteristics when we measure the variability: nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Francis Galton was the first person who tried to measure everything from the weather to female beauty. Whenever we talk about the correlational research, it means that we are going to have a certain type of relationship between the two variables that is measured by these two things. Adolphe Quetelet was a Belgian mathematician or statistician. He discussed the concept of average men and indices of obesity. When the relationship between the weight and cardiovascular disease, and he observed the weight increased as the square of the height. You might be saying that this was the picture of approximately normally distributed observations. So therefore, whenever we are going to find out the relationship between the two characteristics or two variables, we should have such type of concept of normal distribution. You might be, इनको आप लोग पहचान रहे होंगे, ये कौन है, कोई बता सकता है?
Madam Curie. Hello. 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 There is some. Hello. Hello. All the participants are requested to please stay connected. Say there is some power cut issue from the resource person side. You are kindly requested to put forward your queries in the chat box. At the end of this first technical session, we have devoted half an hour of time where your queries will be answered by the resource person. So participants, please feel free to submit your queries in the chat box. I request all the participants to please stay connected. We are facing some technical issues. The resource person will be joining us very shortly. Meanwhile, he has shown us picture of a lady and has asked us to identify it. I hope all of you are working on it and may have identified till now. Again, I'm requesting all the participants to please put your queries in the chat box so that we can address all your questions at the end of this session. The resource person will clear all your doubts. Thank you. I'm requesting all the participants who has joined with us online and to offline mode to please stay connected as we are facing power cut issue on the side of the resource person. He will be joining us back shortly, and I hope he has given us some hint to identify. Meanwhile, you all must have identified that he has shown to us. And he is an expert who is delivering his lecture from basics of statistics, and will be dealing through advanced how we can use the statistics in our day-to-day research. Sir will join us shortly, and till then I would request Dr. Nilesh Tiwari to speak a few words on today's session.
तो जैसे कि मैं कह रहा था कि लेक्चर के शुरुआत में ही लेक्चर कहना ठीक नहीं होगा, इट इज अ प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस जो उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ की शेयर करना स्टार्ट की है, और उन्होंने शुरुआत की जो मैं सुन पाया समझ पाया, क्योंकि मैं भी आप लोगों की तरह हम सब लोग लगे हुए हैं. सो बेसिकली व्हाट इज हैपनिंग कि रिसर्च क्या होती है, शोध जो हम बात करते हैं कि उसमें डेटा का कितना महत्व होता है. जैसा कि वो बता रहे हैं कि डेटा भारत सरकार, राज्य सरकार और हम सभी के पास बहुत सारा डेटा है. एक डेटा के बारे में वो बात कर रहे हैं कि बंबई या मुंबई आप कभी गए होंगे या जाते हैं तो वहां तो डब्बे वाले, टिफिन वाले किस तरह से 40 लाख से ज्यादा लोगों को डब्बा वो टिफिन का पहुंचा रहे हैं पिछले 30, 40, 35 सालों से. आप सोचिए अगर आपको एक छोटा सा टास्क दिया जाए तो किस तरह से आप इंफॉर्मेशन को, डेटा को यूज करेंगे. सो दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. शुरुआत में ही सर बात कर रहे हैं बेसिक चीजों पे. बेसिक शोध क्या है, स्टैटिस्टिक्स प्रकार क्या है, क्योंकि इतने बड़े प्रोफेसर हैं, इतने सीनियर प्रोफेसर हैं, बट अगेन ही इज ट्राइंग टू कनेक्ट विथ यू एंड ही वांट्स टू शो यू द इम्पोर्टेंस, एंड दैट्स व्हाई बेसिक चीजों पे बात हो रही है. तो मैं बात कर रहा था आपसे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, आर्टिफिशियल यानी कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता. आज ही मेरा एक आर्टिकल पेपर में छपा हुआ है, मैं आप लोगों से शेयर कर दूंगा, और उसमें मैंने ये लिखा है मानव ने बुद्धि, जो भगवान ने हमको बुद्धि दी है, क्या मशीन या कंप्यूटर या टेक्नोलॉजी उस बुद्धि को रिप्लेस कर पाएगी, बदल पाएगी. चिट्ठी को देखा था आपने, है ना. तो कहने का मेरा मतलब ये है कि आप देखिए कैसे एग्जाम को, मेडिकल का एस्पिरेंट आए को एग्जाम को हेल्प कर रहा था, चिट्ठी बाहर के 2 घंटे हर तरह की बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज होती है सेवाएं होती है। आपके मोबाइल फोन में कोई भी मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन आप डाउनलोड करते हैं तुरंत आपका सबसे पहले ईमेल आईडी पूछता है। बिना ईमेल आईडी के आप कोई भी गूगल प्ले स्टोर में जाके डाउनलोड नहीं कर सकते। मोबाइल स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ बिना ईमेल आईडी। तो सर ज्वाइन कर लिए हैं। अब मैं सर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि सर प्लीज आए और आगे जो है वो डिलीवरी करेगा। सेशन प्लीज है। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Dr. Nilesh. I think Professor Rajiv Pandey has joined us again.
My voice is clear, audible. Hello, Dr. Rasmi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सर audible sir, audible.
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible.
Okay, I am very sorry that suddenly the light was not in my house. Okay, I was telling just the concept of correlation which was developed by Francis Galton, and later on Professor Quatlet gave such type of study that the average man and indices of obesity with the relationship between weight and cardiovascular disease. As I have to discuss the concept of correlational research, I am just showing this lady, Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was the first lady जिनका आज भी statistics में नाम कहीं नहीं लिया जाता है. Rashmi, please mute yourself. This lady was the first pioneer information. She gather information and statistical graphics. यदि आप इस फिगर को देख रहे होंगे जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में हमने बना के दिखा रखी है, अप्रैल 1954, मई 1954 और जून पे बैटल एंड नॉन बैटल में सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के समय इन्होंने डेटा को गैदर किया और इस प्रकार के डायग्राम को इन्होंने बनाया. दिस डायग्राम इज नोन एज रोज डायग्राम. गुलाब के फूल की तरह लगता है. जो आजकल हम लोग स्टैटिस्टिक्स में डेटा रिप्रेजेंटेशन पाई डायग्राम या सर्कुलर वे में रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, शी वाज द फर्स्ट लेडी. लेकिन स्टैटिस्टिक्स की दुनिया में कहीं पर भी इनका नाम नहीं है. इफ यू सी the rose diagram in Google Map, you will get a lot of literature of bivariate data analysis. She was able to explain the difference between the two when we use univariate data and when we use bivariate. When we involve one variable, that is single variable, in bivariate data we involve two variables, or in trivariate or four-variate or multivariate, we deals with more variables. The univariate data analysis does not deal with the cause or relationships, where bivariate data always deal with the causes and relations. The major purpose of univariate analysis is to describe, while in case of bivariate data, it is to be explained. Then central tendency, mean, median, mode, dispersion, range, etc. These are the topics: bar diagrams, histograms, pie charts, subdivided pie diagrams, whisker plots. Whereas in bivariate data, we analysis of two variables, comparison, etc. like this. Now, the question she raised that time, in a very simple way, I am explaining that how many of the students in the freshman class are female. This is a simple type of question. Now, in bivariate data, is there a relationship between the number of females in computer programming or not? Now, as Professor Manoj was discussing that there are two methods dependence methods and independence methods. In dependence methods, one or more variables, which are known as criterion variables, are predicted by a set of independent variables, which will be known as predictor variables. Now, here I am showing a simple units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, n, and we are having variables x1, x2, xp variables. We are measuring data on p variables. For first unit, we have x11 value for the first variable, x12 for the second, x1p for the pth variable. And similarly, for the second unit, we observe x21 for the first variable, x22 for the second, x22, 2p for the pth variable, and so on. This is a type of now, if such type of tables are there, that is known as multivariate data format. And this multivariate data format having two types of methods. One is dependence method, other one is independence method. Now, here I am giving you a very fundamental concept when we use the different statistical techniques. Number one, if there is only one criterion variable, there are three methods. Number one, correlation and regression analysis. In correlation and regression analysis, our criterion variable should be metric and predictor variable should be maybe metric as well as non-metric. The second type of regression, we have logistic regression. Their criterion variable non-metric and predictor variables will be metric and non-metric. Discriminant analysis is the criterion variable is non-metric and predictor variable is metric. Whenever we are having more than two criterion variables, then we have two type of multivariate analysis. One is the criterion variable is metric and predictor variable is also metric. Multivariate analysis of variance, our criterion variable and predictor variable both should be metric. Now here I am showing a picture. Most of the times we are interested for the similarity in two variables. Now if you see the picture of this dog, we know it when see it. So a single characteristic may not be sufficient. For this purpose, we have this interdependence methods. And in interdependence methods, we study factor analysis, sometimes cluster analysis, multidimensional we have to apply in correlational research for as a interdependence method. So basically, today I will just discuss the correlation and correlational regressions. The key concept of correlation is that there are methods for studying correlation. A scatter diagram, Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient, a Spearman correlation, and Kendall-Tau correlation. Correlation is actually a statistical tool that helps to measure and analyze the degree of relationship between the two variables. It deals with the association between two or more variables. Correlation is what? Generally, a question is asked, what do you mean by the correlation? The correlation is nothing but a linear relationship between the two variables. दो वेरिएबल्स के बीच में एक रैखिक या लीनियर रिलेशन होना चाहिए. There may be two type of relationship, may be curvilinear, may be linear. If the relationship between the variables is linear, only then we study the correlation. The degree of relationship between the variable under consideration is measured through the correlation analysis. Yes, sir. The measure of correlation called the correlation coefficient. The degree of relations is expressed by the coefficient, which ranges from its -1 to +1. The direction of change is indicated by sign, positive or negative. The correlation analysis enables us to have an idea about the degree as well as the direction of the relationship between the two variables which are under the study. Here, this is a very important slide to discuss here. हम बड़ी आसानी से कह देते हैं अपने रिसर्च में कि ए बी से रिलेटेड है या एक्स वाई से रिलेटेड है. यहां पर हमने कॉज की बात करी. यदि हम ए में चेंजेस करेंगे तो बी में भी चेंज हो रहा है. अब उसी डायरेक्शन में चेंज हो रहा है या अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में चेंज हो रहा है. That is a one type of cause. The other type of causation is that changes in both A and B, दो variables पे यदि हम चेंज कर रहे हैं तो थर्ड वेरिएबल में भी उसका इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है कि नहीं पड़ रहा है. तीसरा प्रकार का कॉज हमारा ये हो सकता है, चेंजेस इन बी आर कॉज्ड बाय द चेंजेस इन ए एंड बाय चेंजेस इन थर्ड वेरिएबल्स. इसके दो एग्जाम्पल बड़े याद आ गए मुझे, अभी मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. 1960 से 1970 10 साल के बीच में स्वीडन कंट्री के अंदर एक बहुत बड़ा डेटा सेट एनालाइज किया गया था कोरिलेशन निकालने के लिए. वहां पर 10 साल का डेटा लिया गया और एक प्रकार की चिड़िया होती है या जू में आपने देखा होगा, लंबी चोंच वाली, स्टॉक बर्ड बोलते हैं. स्टॉक बर्ड की चोंच बड़ी लंबी होती है, सारस जैसी. धीरे धीरे वो चिड़िया की डेथ होने लगी. जैसे आज हमारे कंट्री में वल्चर खत्म हो रहे हैं. वल्चर मीन्स गिद्ध. आप देख रहे होंगे आपके छत्तीसगढ़ में या हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश में, ऑल ओवर इंडिया वल्चर की संख्या बहुत कम होती जा रही है. उसी 60 से 70 डिकेड पर स्वीडन में ये स्टॉक बर्ड्स कम होने लगे. और साइमल्टेनियसली हुआ क्या कि साथ साथ स्वीडन कंट्री की बर्थ रेट भी कम होने लगी. उस समय के स्टैटिस्टिशियंस ने, उस कंट्री के लोगों ने हाईली कोरिलेशन निकाल दिया कि जैसे जैसे स्टॉक बर्ड्स की डेथ होती चली जाएगी, कंट्री में की बर्थ रेट कम होता चला जाएगा. जबकि ऐसा नहीं था. देयर वाज ए थर्ड फोर्स, थर्ड कॉज, जो चिड़िया भी कम कर रहा था और आपकी बर्थ कंट्रोल को भी कर रहा था. देयर वाज नो कोरिलेशन बिटवीन देम. ऐसे ही अमेरिका में, अमेरिकन सीनेट में 1990 से 2000 तक का डेटा गैदर किया गया और नंबर ऑफ सीनेट मेंबर्स ऑफ रिपब्लिकन पार्टी जैसे जैसे कम होते चले गए, वैसे वैसे नंबर ऑफ सन स्पॉट्स इन द सन वो बढ़ते चले गए. लोगों ने, यूएस के साइंटिस्ट स्टैटिस्टिशियंस ने इनके बीच में कोरिलेशन निकाल दिया. दैट इज ए वर्थलेस. जैसे हमारे वल्चर खत्म हो रहा है और कोई फैक्टर यदि आप उसके साथ ले लें और उसका कोरिलेशन निकाल दें, तो कंप्यूटर तो ब्लैक बॉक्स होता है. जो कमांड हम देंगे एज इट इज वो निकाल देगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप अपने यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ने वाले 200 स्टूडेंट्स की हाइट एक्सेल के एक कॉलम में लिख दें और वाई कॉलम में करस्पॉन्डिंग रोज में 200 दिन का टेम्परेचर बेंगलोर सिटी का डाल दें और कोरिलेशन का बटन आप किसी भी सॉफ्टवेयर में डालेंगे, इमीडिएटली दैट विल बी हाईली कोरिलेटेड. नाउ एज ए स्टैटिस्टिशियन माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट is there any significant relation between the heights of students studying in Mahindra Vishwavidyalaya with the temperature of Bangalore city? That is not at all. जैसे हम वल्चर का एग्जांपल बता रहे हैं, इसमें आईसीएमआर का मैंने प्रोजेक्ट किया. वल्चर की डेथ्स किस वजह से हुई, उसका रीजन एक अलग रीजन था. जो डाइक्लोनेक के इंजेक्शन हम लोग भैंस को या गाय को देते हैं पर डे, एक मिल्कमैन जो गाय या भैंस का दूध निकाल रहा है, सवेरे एक इंजेक्शन दे रहा है, शाम को दूसरा दे रहा है, महीने में 60 इंजेक्शन दे रहा है, साल में 720 इंजेक्शन हो रहा है. 3 साल तक भैंस देती गई और उसके बाद जब दूध देने के लायक नहीं रही तो स्लॉटर हाउस में जाके छोड़ दिया. स्लॉटर हाउस वाले ने क्या किया, स्किन भैंस का निकाल यूज कर लिया और फ्लैश को उठा के बाहर डाल दिया. वल्चर गिद्ध ने उसको खाया और वो डाइक्लोनेट इफेक्ट की वजह से उस गिद्ध की डेथ होने लगी. दिस इज द रूट कॉज. लेकिन यदि आप किसी दूसरे वेरिएबल के साथ में इसका हम कोरिलेशन निकालेंगे तो पॉजिटिव निकल कर आएगा या निगेटिव आएगा. तो देयरफॉर कॉज एंड कोरिलेशन इज द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टूल व्हेनेवर वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी. Causation means cause and effect relation. Correlation denotes the interdependency among the variable for correlating the two phenomena. It is essential that the two phenomena should have cause-effect relationship. And moreover, if such a relationship does not exist, then the two phenomena cannot be correlated. And therefore, at the end, I have read that causation always implies correlation, but the correlation does not necessarily implies causation. This is the most important whenever we have the correlational study or correlational research. And whatever the type of relationship we were discussing at the very beginning, that is a type of, चाहे वो स्वीडन की कंट्री का हो, चाहे यूएस का हो, चाहे वो वल्चर के यहाँ पे खत्म होने का हो, these are the cause. नहीं है तो spurious relationships. The final type of relations could be serious. The relationship between the liabilities and profit could be associated with the third variable. The size of the fixed deposits in bank could be related to liabilities which may be strongly associated with the profit. So these are some different type of spurious correlations that we study in correlational research. So it should be avoided such type of manipulations in our data of social sciences as well as of marketing research or business administration data analysis research should be avoided. So my submission to all researchers who are watching this presentation, they must avoid such type of spurious relationship between the two variables. I can say that now come to the point, the correlation may be positive or it may be negative correlation. Positive correlation means that if we increase one values of the one variable, the other will also increase. If we increase one and decrease, there is a effect of decrement in second variable, that is negative correlation. For example, interest of loan and profit, bank charges and profits are another variable. That is the indication of positive correlation. Negative means number of defaulters and profit. If X is increasing, Y is also increasing. X is decreasing, Y is also decreasing. This is the concept of positive correlation. While in the case of negative relationship, when we increase one, X is increasing, Y is decreasing, X is decreasing, Y is decreasing. Water consumption and temperature. जैसे जैसे टेम्परेचर हमारा एटमॉस्फेयर का बढ़ेगा, वाटर का कंजम्पशन भी बढ़ेगा. यदि हम स्टडी टाइम बढ़ाएंगे तो हमारी ग्रेड्स भी बढ़ेंगे. दैट इज ए पॉजिटिव टाइप ऑफ कोरिलेशन. एंड नेगेटिव मीन्स alcohol consumption and driving ability, price and quantity demanded. The second categorization I did as a simple and multiple correlation, and this second type of categorization of correlation is simple and multiple. The simple correlation means that under simple correlation problem, there are only two variables. Multiple variables means that we are having three variables. And if we have to find the correlation coefficient between the first variable and the remaining two variables taken jointly, x2 and x3, then it is the multiple correlation. And the partial correlation means that if we are interested to find out the correlation between x1 and x2, means only two variables, after eliminating the effect of third variable, that is x3, that is the partial correlation. And total correlation is based on the relevant variables, which is normally not feasible, as we discussed in the concept of the normal distribution. The third categorization is linear and non-linear, and I have already told you that the linear relationship, the degree of linear relationship is measured by correlation. For example, here I am showing that x values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, y values are 5, 7, 9, 11, like this. And there is a linear relationship, y is equal to 3 plus 2x, y is equal to mx plus c type of relation. I means that there is a linear relationship. So if we find this type of correlation, that is a linear correlation. दूसरा, y square is equal to 4ax, y square plus x square is equal to a square, a circular expression, or y is equal to e to the power x. They are non-linear correlation, where we have this different type of relations. Scatter diagram methods, as I told you in the basic concepts, that graphical representation of data of both the variables are very important. So the scatter diagram is a particular type of graph which observes the plot points where each points represent the values of x and y as their coordinates. If you see that, here I have just taken profit on y-axis and savings on x-axis. The linear relationship is mine like this straight line. If there is a high degree of positive correlation coefficient, then we have a line, a straight line like this as shown in this diagram, and the scattered points are more concentrated about this line. Therefore, a high degree of positive correlation must be observed or will be computed whenever we apply some techniques or tools. If there is a moderate correlation, then the scattering of points on the line are worse rather than the previous one. If there is a negative correlation coefficient, moderate correlation coefficient is that depth are increasing, profits are diminishing, means going lower down. or and the concentration of points around the line is very concentrated. Perfect negative correlation. These are the some figures which I want to show that whenever you get in the graphical representation of a scatter diagram, you will ask, you will have some idea of correlation research, that what type of correlation will be there. Perfect negative, perfect positive, high degree of positive, high degree of negativity. All the points are lying on the straight line in the negative direction, and its value comes out to be minus 1.0. Similarly, weak negatively, when the points are very scattered, then R is equal to minus 0.2. And you see that the points are very much scattered from this line. Similarly, here R is equal to 0 means negative correlation. There is no correlation. All the line which is parallel to x-axis are sometimes parallel to y-axis are, therefore there is no correlation coefficient will exist numerically, profit and gender of employees. Here it is very important to see that the scatter diagram is showing like this. But if you compute mathematically from computer or any software, you will get little bit amount of numerical value. So there you cannot say that there is an existence of a positive or negative correlation coefficients. Here I have shown this 0.8 as a very elliptical one. Then as soon as the width of this ellipse increases, then 0.6 is the correlation. Then 0.4, then 0.2. So as soon as we increase the width of the ellipse is going on, the correlation comes out to be lower and lower and lower. And this is the concept of correlation. Now, the advantage and disadvantage of the scattered diagram is that it is very simple, not mathematical method, not influenced by the size of extreme items. Disadvantage is only that it cannot adopt an exact of correlation coefficient. Then the first one of correlation coefficient is called Pearson correlation coefficient R. The coefficient of correlation measures the degree of linear relationship between the two variables, as I said. Its value lying between -1 to +1. Degree of correlation is expressed by a value of coefficient, while the direction of change is indicated by positive sign and negative sign. So degree and direction of correlation is very important for our correlational research. Here, whatever we teach our students in our MSc or BSc programs, observe this graph, that there is a XY scatter plot. I have considered two variables, X and Y. Always we can have two regression lines, or two line type of straight lines. One is Y on X, other one is X on Y. Y is equal to A plus B, Y, X, Y, X. X is equal to A prime or some constant plus B, X, Y. We assume that Y depends on X and relationship is linear. That is, in regression analysis, we say that the regression of Y on X. On the other hand, if we assume that X depends on Y, then regression of Y on X. And the correlation formula we teach has been derived conceptually or mathematically as covariance divided by variance of X and variance of Y का अंडर रूट, और ये मैथमेटिकल. इससे आप लोगों को ज्यादा वो नहीं है, लेकिन just I am showing that mathematically how we write the correlation coefficient. The interpretation of correlation coefficient मैंने आपको बताया. कि -1 + 1 होता है. If r is equal to +1, then the correlation between the two variables is said to be perfect, and -1 है तो perfect negative होगा, r is equal to 0, तो correlation exist नहीं करेगा. And this correlation coefficient is nothing but जो ये दो लाइन हमने बनाई, इसके जो ये BYX और BXY हैं, they are called regression coefficients, और इन regression coefficients का geometric mean correlation के बराबर होता है. Here I am indicating by this R is equal to BYX, this thing. So one regression coefficient is positive, the regression coefficient is also positive, correlation will become positive. Advantages of this Pearson correlation coefficient is that it summarizes in one value the degree of correlation and direction of correlation as well. The limitation interpretation of the value of R is difficult for research ethics. So therefore, and it is also a time consuming method, but it is very interesting that whenever we have to find the dependence method, then we always have the correlation coefficient. Here I am showing a very interesting point. The convenient way of interpreting the value of correlation coefficient is to use the square of coefficient of correlation, which is called coefficient of determination. बड़ी आप लोग अधिकतर जब एनालिसिस ऑफ वेरिएंस या और हायर ऑर्डर की इंटरडिपेंडेंस मेथड यूज करते हैं, तब उस समय ये कर देते हैं कि कोरिलेशन कोफिशिएंट का जो स्क्वायर होता है वही कोफिशिएंट ऑफ डिटरमिनेशन है. दैट इज नॉट in bivariate both values are mutually equal, but if you are having trivariate or four-variate or five-variate, in that situation this r square will not expand. So therefore the very fundamental point which I am raised, that suppose small r is equal to 0.9 in a bivariate data, I am squaring it, its value come out to be 0.81. This would mean that 81% of the variation in the dependent variable has been explained by the independent. आगे चल के जब हम regression analysis बताएंगे उसमें हम आपको यही बताएंगे. Here I am having two columns. One is the independent variable x1, x2, xn, dependent variable are y, y1, y2, yn, and then from the regression line as equation number 1, I have estimated the value of y on the basis of this line. Then if we are interested to find out the covariance between the estimated value of y with the actual value of y, that is our r square, which is not exactly equal to the square of the correlation coefficient. This is not given in any book of statistics. Therefore, the maximum value of r square is 1 because it is possible to explain all the variation in y, but it is not possible to explain more than all of it. So therefore, the coefficient of determination is nothing but the explained variation divided by total variation. It is not the case if we are here. I am giving just an example. मान लीजिए कोई डेटा XY का है, we are having bivariate data XY. Some person has calculated the value R as 0.60, the other one has calculated as 0.3. Now you see that if you square both, if you square 0.6, you will get 0.36. And if you square 0.3, then you will get 0.09. This implies that in the first case, 36% of the total variation is explained, while in the second case, 9% of the total variation is explained. जबकि देखने में लग रहा है कि पहला 0.60 कोरिलेशन कोफिशिएंट 0.30 के 2 गुना है. This is the beauty of coefficient of determination whenever we are having the correlational research. So whenever you are having the bivariate or trivariate or fourvariate or t-variate data analysis, you must calculate the correlation as well as the regression and see that how the data variation in the data can be explained. This is the one particular example numerically which I see. The another type of correlation is Spearman rank correlation coefficient. You might have calculated when your data are numerically not available. When two persons or judges give their ranks in same characteristics are variable. When one person gives ranks to two different characteristics are the variable. So this is the concept of rank correlation. We are giving the ranks for the different values. For example, we cannot calculate numerically the color of a person, the color of hairs of person. In that situation, we have. For your purpose, I am just giving a basic data of 8 zones of regional bank zones of 8 districts of Uttar Pradesh, Agra, Allahabad, Kanpur, and how we calculate. Here, Y values are there and X values are there. For Agra, zone 1698 and 415 are the values. And we have calculated this value. क्या जो correlation coefficient के फॉर्मूले को निकालने के लिए क्या क्या कैलकुलेशन ये मैंने मैनुअली करके आपको यहाँ पर टेबल पे अभी मैं दिखा रहा हूँ. Whenever you will apply any software, statistical or mathematical, there is no need. But these are the basic concepts. ये X और Y डेटा किस तरीके से क्या क्या चीजें हम लोग वर्कआउट करते हैं. और जब हमने वर्कआउट कर लिया तो कोरिलेशन कोफिशिएंट जो होता है वो कोवेरिएंस अपॉन दिस 0.76 कैलकुलेट करके आया. दो रिग्रेशन लाइंस वाई प्रॉफिट और फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट हमने कैलकुलेट किया और दैट कम्स आउट टू बी y is equal to 781.648 plus 1.61x, while दूसरी तरफ से यदि हम रिग्रेशन दें, दैट इज एक्स और वाई निकालें, फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट का प्रॉफिट पे रिग्रेशन दें, दैट कम्स आउट टू बी दिस टाइप ऑफ रिग्रेशन -111.91 plus 0.367y. Now, if you see that the first regression line is the regression of y on x, while the second one is a regression of fixed deposit on profit. Now you notice that the regression coefficient in the y on x is 1.61. It means that fixed deposits are very much affecting the profit of the bank. While from the second regression equation, its value is 0.367. The profit is not very much affecting the fixed deposits of the bank. Profit होने का मतलब और भी कई reasons होंगे. So this is the way that how we interpret by using the regression equation. Now, if you see this R is equal to the geometric mean of both the regression coefficients, which comes out to be same as the correlation coefficient 0.76. जरा इस पॉइंट को ध्यान रखिएगा, आगे भी हम लोग इसको यूज करेंगे. This is the formula which we teach our statistical student for rank correlation coefficients. different zones are there. Agra, Allahabad, Kanpur, Gorakhpur, Bareilly, and profit and deposits are there in thousands of crore. So we have simply written the profit of banks and that, and we have computed the correlation coefficient as 0.76 and Spearman rank correlation as 0.39. Why both of them are unequal? You always remember that when we compute the correlation coefficient of Pearson type, that will be always higher than the Spearman rank correlation coefficient. But the direction of both type of correlation coefficients are similar. In psychological statistics, we teach there is a correction factor which, when we incorporate in Spearman rank correlation coefficient, it comes out to be the exactly same. That is Pearson. There is a book of Garrett of psychological statistics where we teach the item response theory for the correlational research. That is the most important point. So if we are dealing with the tetrachoric correlation or polychoric correlations or item response theory, then we always have the Spearman correlation coefficient. And through Garrett's formula of correction factor, if we add that correction factor, then we shall get the exact numerical value of correlation coefficient. Remember that Spearman's direction and Pearson's directions are same. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि एक का पॉजिटिव है तो दूसरा का नेगेटिव है. हमेशा दोनों पॉजिटिव होंगे, दोनों नेगेटिव होंगे, लेकिन पियर्सन का वैल्यू हमेशा, क्योंकि न्यूमेरिकली हम उसको कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. Now we come to the situation of regression setup. What is the concept of regression analysis, common type of analysis? We compare different groups, male, female, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab National Bank to State Bank, like this. या different groups को करते हैं. Examining strength and direction of relationships. दोनों प्रकार के उसमें करते हैं. Compare proportions. You might have known the chi-square test आप लोगों ने अप्लाई किया होगा. या मीन को टेस्ट करते हैं जिसमें एनालिसिस ऑफ वेरिएंस. पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ के जितने डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं उसमें कॉमन प्रॉफिट हो रहा है रीजनल बैंक्स पे और डिस्ट्रिक्ट पे कि नहीं. एग्जामिनिंग स्ट्रेंथ एंड डायरेक्शन के लिए इस तरीके के क्वेश्चन सब लोगों के आते हैं कि बाइवेरिएट, जो अभी हम पियर्सन कोरिलेशन की बात कर रहे थे, बिटवीन वन वेरिएबल और अनदर वेरिएबल, और समटाइम्स वी आर हैविंग मोर देन वन वेरिएबल, that is a multivariate regression analysis. Now question is that what do regression analysis do? Regression analysis करती क्या है, जो आज का आपका थीम है सेमिनार. It examines whether the changes or differences in values of one variable, dependent variable y, are linked to changes or differences in one value of one or more other variables, independent variable x1, while controlling the changes in values for all other variables. For example, relationship between profit and fixed deposits x1 and loans x2 for banks who are situated in the same city have equal office size, etc. or not. Here you watch या observe that dependent variable must be metric. पहली बात ये होनी चाहिए. और independent variable जो है predictor जिसे हम कहते थे, they may be metric or they may not. Central question अब यहाँ पर ये उठता है कि is profit is a function of x1 and x2. x1 is a number of fixed deposit, x2 is the loans which have been provided by bank. And if this type of function is there, then how this is related with this? Is there a relationship between y and x1, x2? What is the relative impact of each x on y, holding all other x constant are having no significant effect? This is the basic concept that the regression analysis was actually performed. More specifically, do values of y tend to increase or decrease as values of x1, x2 increases or decreases? And if such type of situation is there, my question is that why, how much, and how strong is the connection or whatever type of relationship between x variables and y variables? What percent of differences or variation in profits among study subjects can be explained by the differences in x values? Decrease in interest on loans or rate of interest of FDs like this. Once we will be able to determine how values of y changes as a function of x1, x2, we will also be able to predict or estimate the dependent variable y for a specific values of x1 and x2, like this. Therefore, regression analysis in a sense is about estimating values of the dependent variable y using information about the values of independent variables, number of fixed deposit, number of customers, number of saving bank accounts, etc., like this. Now, what should be the objective of our correlational research whenever we are performing such type of analysis through regression or correlation? That is to minimize error in estimation or to compute estimate that are as close to the true or actual value as possible. Now, again, there is a question which I raise. What is the simplest way to obtain an estimate for some population characteristics in the totality? That is amount of profit, number of loans, etc. per bank. Here, my answer may be that we have to select a representative sample from the population and compute the mean for that sample. That is, compute the average amount of profit for the sample bank. And then we study the regression analysis, which can be viewed as a technique that often significantly improves the accuracy of estimation results relative to using the mean value. So suppose जो पुराना डेटा हमने लिया था आपको सैंपल के रूप में, that is whenever I did in UP, उसी का हम मैथमेटिकली आपको यहाँ पर करके दिखाते. Suppose we were to estimate the profit for some banks based on information from random sample. 8 जोन्स लिए थे, 8 बैंक लिख दिया मैंने, आई एम सॉरी, जो कि कहते हैं नहीं, इंस्टेड ऑफ n बैंक. Estimate the profit. There are 8 banks I have taken as 1 to 8 instead of zones, and we have computed their profits like this. Now, what will be its estimate? Y, if we sum all the values, that 11,761 is the estimate. And if we divide it by 8, that is the average value 1470.125. Now my question is that can we determine how much error in estimation we are committing here? हमने क्या किया, 8 बैंक लिए थे, 8 बैंक का प्रॉफिट लिया, सबका एवरेज कर दिया, लेकिन इसमें इस एस्टिमेशन में हम कितनी एरर लगा रहे हैं स्टैटिस्टिकली, उसको जरा सी हम देखने की कोशिश करेंगे। हमारा ये बैंक के प्रॉफिट थे, सेकंड कॉलम पे आप देखिए। फिर हमने एस्टिमेट निकाला था 1470, उसका एस्टिमेट था। हमने क्या किया, एस्टिमेट फॉर हर बैंक का वही रख दिया 1470, और लास्ट कॉलम में हमने डेविएशन देखा कि फर्स्ट बैंक का 1698 माइनस 1470, यानी कि इतनी एस्टिमेशन की एरर आई, सेकंड में नेगेटिव एंड लाइक दिस। लेट्स नाउ सी किस तरीके से ये एरर ग्राफिकली हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं। दीज आर द डिफरेंट Z1, Z2, Zn 8, और ये एस्टिमेट वैल्यू हॉरिजॉन्टल एक ग्रीन लाइन से आपको दिखाई दे। लेट अस इन बैंक्स को डॉट से हम जरा स्प्रेड कर दे रहे हैं। ये सिर्फ कोई मेजरमेंट हमने यहाँ पर नहीं लिया है, सिर्फ आपको समझाने के लिए ये बैंक्स Z1 से लेकर Z8 तक के रखे। अब देखिए ग्रीन कलर से एक्चुअल एस्टिमेट्स है, लेकिन जो डेविएशन बैंक के प्रॉफिट्स का आ रहा था Z1 के लिए, ये यहां पर एक ब्रैकेट बनाकर हमने दिखाया है, दैट इज द एस्टिमेशन एरर। सिमिलरली फॉर Z2 दिस इज द एरर। एस्टिमेट आपके सारे हॉरिजॉन्टल ग्रीन लाइन पे पड़ रही हैं, जबकि रेड डॉट्स जो है वो डिफरेंट बैंक्स के प्रॉफिट दिखा रहे हैं। कैन बी डिटरमिन द टोटल एस्टिमेशन एरर फॉर ऑल 8 बैंक्स? टोटलिटी में कितना फर्क आया? ये y इक्वल टू y बार एस्टिमेट जो ग्रीन लाइन है, ये तो सभी के लिए हम एक कह रहे हैं, लेकिन हर बैंक का अलग अलग हमने करके देखा, तो ये डेविएशंस आ रहे हैं। एक्चुअल इतना था और एस्टिमेट इतना था, इनके बीच का डिफरेंस आया, दैट इज इन एस्टिमेट। एरर इन एस्टिमेशन को कंप्यूट किया। व्हाट वुड बी द टोटल एस्टिमेशन एरर फॉर ऑल 8 बैंक्स इफ वी टेक कंबाइंड? कंबाइंड जब करेंगे तब कितना आएगा? तो हमने क्या किया, इस कॉलम को, लास्ट कॉलम दैट इज एरर इन एस्टिमेशन जो आप देख रहे हैं, उसको सम किया। सम करने पे उसकी वैल्यू 0 आ गई। वो 0 इसलिए आई कि सम वैल्यूज आर पॉजिटिव, सम वैल्यूज आर नेगेटिव। जब टोटल किया तो हमेशा ये सब आ जाएगी। The question is that what will be the solution for it? हमने इंस्टेड ऑफ 4th कॉलम की जगह 5th कॉलम में जो एरर्स आए थे उन सबको स्क्वायर कर दिया। एरर्स का स्क्वायर किया तो जो निगेटिव वैल्यूज थी वो भी पॉजिटिव, और उनका सम किया। दिस सम इज नोन एज सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स ड्यू टू टोटल। टोटल सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स हमने यहां पर इस तरीके से निकाला, क्योंकि 4th कॉलम को जब हम सम कर रहे थे तो वैल्यू 0 हो रही थी, लेकिन हमने स्क्वायर कर दिया तो पॉजिटिव करके ये आया। ये जो सम आया 12,125,9,505, दैट इज सम ऑफ squares due to total, that is the index for total, that is the combined amount of estimation error for all the 8 banks in the sample when using mean as an estimate. यही तो मीन ही तो लिया था हमने। और it is the sum of square due to total is also the sum of square deviations from their mean. Remember the formula for computing variance यदि आप लोग निकालते हैं तो 1/n summation fi xi minus x bar स्क्वायर करते हैं। और ये हम शुरू में ही कह चुके हैं आपको कि व्हाट इज आवर ऑब्जेक्टिव इन एस्टिमेशन, दैट इज द मिनिमाइजेशन ऑफ एरर और मैक्सिमाइजेशन ऑफ प्रिसिजन. Now the question arises, can we cut down the amount of estimation error? And if we can, then question is how? My reply is in this way that yes, we can by using information about other variables suspected to be strong predictors are supposed to be strongly related to profit gained by banks. For example, we may have saving accounts, we may have loans, we may have fixed deposit, number of things we may have for banks. So instead of actual profit, I have incorporated one more column as number of fixed deposits in the respective banks. We now can attempt to estimate a profit from the information of number of fixed deposits rather than from its own mean. जो मीन की बात हम कर रहे थे उससे कोई दूसरा वेरिएबल एसोसिएट किया जा सकता है, वो that I tried here to get it from the banks. अब उसी Z-I's को हमने यहाँ पर Z1, Z2, Z8 are the different banks, और जब इसको हमने प्लॉट किया तो ये हमारी एस्टिमेटेड लाइन. हॉरिजॉन्टल ग्रीन लाइन बेस लाइन थी हमारी एस्टिमेट. Thus the mean y bar appeared to represent the closest estimate of the actual profit for our number of fixed deposits. This is the green line, which is known as to be the best line to represent the location of estimates of profits of these 8 banks. Now, this one is a generic equation for to be treated as a straight line. Y cap is equal to A1 plus B1x. इन पॉइंट्स को जब हमने प्लॉट करके देखा तो एक आदमी ने इस तरीके की लाइन बना दी, डॉटेड जो वायलेट कलर की लाइन. कोई दूसरा स्टैटिस्टिशियन आया या दूसरा बैंक में स्टैटिस्टिकल ऑफिसर है, उन्होंने कहा सर ये लाइन हम नहीं मानते हैं, ये लाइन होनी चाहिए. Y cap is equal to A2 plus B2x. कोई तीसरा आया, उसने कहा नहीं, ये लाइन होनी चाहिए. अब क्वेश्चन यहां पर ये बन रहा है कि ऐसे पता नहीं कितनी लाइनें नंबर ऑफ फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स और प्रॉफिट्स के बीच में we can have the number of regression lines. Now the question is that how we will have this. This is the regression line. And regression line is known as to be the line of best fit. New improved location for profit estimate line in this line. All the points are lying on this inclined line. Y is equal to A plus B. Regression line is minimizing the sum of its squares, that is the total estimation error. And line of best fit is the new improved location for profit estimates on the basis of number of fixed deposits. But how do we know the value of A and B? इस regression line पे जो दो constants हैं, A और B, ये कैसे डिटरमिन करेंगे? इसके लिए मैथमेटिकल y is equal to b is equal to summation of xi minus x bar yi minus y bar divided by summation xi minus x bar square, and a is equal to, ये mathematically we derive these expressions for a and b in our undergraduate or our statistics students. And we compute ये जो पहले शुरू में डेटा सेट हमने दिखाया था, दैट्स वाई हमने आपको बताया था कि वी विल नीड y बार x बार x minus x bar y minus y bar and summation xi minus x bar square. So these are the important constant that is to be worked. आजकल रिग्रेशन लाइन SPSS सॉफ्टवेयर R स्टैटा सिस्टैट इन सारे सॉफ्टवेयर पे ऑटोमेटिकली जनरेट हो जाता है, बट बिहाइंड द कर्टेन द सीन इज दैट वी कंप्यूट और द कंप्यूटर कंप्यूट्स इन its algorithm by A and B, like this. We should know all these facts, that how they in the correlational research these constants plays a dominant role. Again, इस टेबल को मैनुअली मैंने करके आपको यहाँ पर दिखाया है कि जो जो चीजें की जरूरत थी, x माइनस एक्स बार प्रॉफिट हमें पता था, नंबर ऑफ फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स पता थे, x माइनस एक्स बार y माइनस वाई बार देयर क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट एंड देयर स्क्वायर, ये वैल्यूज हमें कैलकुलेट करनी है फॉर कैलकुलेटिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ द कॉन्स्टेंट्स a एंड b. मैनुअली आई डिड इट. इसको जब हमने करके देखा तो ये वैल्यूज है, और जब मैनुअली हमने इसको करके देखा तो A की वैल्यू और B की वैल्यू हमारी इतनी आई, जिसको हमने यहां पर इक्वेशन पे रख दिया. इफ यू नोटिस दैट द रिलेशन लाइन जब हम कोरिलेशन कोफिशिएंट पे बता रहे थे तो हमने 1.61 वहीं पे लिखा था, एंड दिस A कम्स आउट टू बी 781.64 एंड B इज इक्वल टू 1.61. इस A और B की वैल्यू वहां पर हमने यही कंप्यूट करी. नाउ इस रिग्रेशन लाइन पर y is equal to a plus bx, when we substitute the value of A and B, we will get this regression line 78164 and 1.61. इसको कहते क्या है? मैं बड़ा ग्रास रूट लेवल पे आपको बता रहा हूं. हम लोग बड़ी बड़ी रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन और सॉफ्टवेयर बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं, हमको मालूम ही नहीं होता है कि हम क्या कहने जा रहे कर रहे हैं. तो द स्टैटिस्टिकल कॉन्सेप्ट्स में वी कॉल दिस एज वाई इंटरसेप्ट एंड this as the regression coefficient. So the definition of regression coefficient or the concept of regression coefficient comes from here. And the intercept on the y-axis is 781.64. Now, I have substituted this on this graph, y is equal to 781.64 plus 1.61x. And these are the Z1, Z2, Z3, Z8 are the 8 banks. We have drawn this scatter diagram for number of fixed deposits corresponding to profits. Can we tell how much estimation error still we have? अभी भी हमको error मिल रही है ये line of best fit बनाने के बाद. Yes. Examining differences between our banks' actual profit and their new regression estimates. इस लाइन के द्वारा x की डिफरेंट वैल्यू यदि हम रखें तो हमें एस्टिमेट्स पता चलेंगे. y हमारे एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट से सेकंड कॉलम पे, x नंबर ऑफ फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स थे. जो बेस्ट लाइन अभी हमने a और b की वैल्यू रखने पर बनाई, उसके आधार पर जो रिग्रेशन एस्टिमेट्स आए तो हम नंबर ऑफ फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट, जैसे फॉर फर्स्ट बैंक 415 है तो 1.61 इंटू 415 कर देंगे तो ये एस्टिमेट y का आ जाएगा. दिस ऐसे ही सेकंड बैंक के लिए 220 रखेंगे, थर्ड के लिए 318 एंड लाइक दैट. रिग्रेशन एस्टिमेट्स आ गए. रिग्रेशन एस्टिमेट्स के बाद फिर डिफरेंस आ रहा है या एरर आ रही है जिसको हम लोग रेजिडुअल y माइनस वाई कैप रेजिडुअल आया। क्योंकि इसको सम करने पर उसी तरीके की घटना फिर घटित हो जाएगी, तो सम विल बिकम 0, therefore we have squared it and last column में errors squared हमारे पास आ गया। एंड ये जो सम आया 514991, this is the sum of squares due to residuals or due to errors। यानी कि रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन बनाने के बाद भी बेस्ट लाइन जो थी उसमें भी एरर के द्वारा वेरिएशंस हो रही हैं और सम ऑफ स्क्वायर आ रहा है। दैट कम्स आउट टू बी 50। टोटल बेस लाइन एरर जो थी वो 1259 की समथिंग थी। नाउ द रिमेनिंग एरर 514991 हो गई। क्वेश्चन ये हो रहा आएगा, या हमने जब एक वेरिएबल इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लिया तो कितना फर्क पड़ा। हाउ मच ऑफ द ओरिजिनल एस्टिमेशन एरर हैव बीन वी हैव ऑलरेडी एलिमिनेटेड। जब रिग्रेशन लाइन ले आए तब 1259 वाले में से 51499 को आप डिडक्ट कर दीजिए, 744514 आ गया। दिस इज द सम ऑफ स्क्वायर ड्यू टू रिग्रेशन, और इसको हम एक्सप्लेन कर गए कि रिग्रेशन की वजह से इतना था। क्वेश्चन यहां पर यह आता है कि व्हाट परसेंट ऑफ एस्टिमेशन एरर have we explained by using the regression model। यानी कि जब रिग्रेशन मॉडल हमने यूज कर लिया तब कितना परसेंट ऑफ एस्टिमेशन एरर को हम एक्सप्लेन कर पाए। डिवाइड कर दिया, 74 हमारा इतना डिफरेंस आ रहा था, डिवाइडेड बाय द एरर आ गया, दैट इज 60%। इस 60% को हम एक्सप्लेन कर ले गए डेटा के अंदर जो वेरिएबिलिटी थी। व्हाट इज दिस कॉल्ड, इसको कहेंगे क्या? दैट इज नथिंग बट आर स्क्वायर, जिसके पहले हमने डिस्कशन कर चुका था। यानी कि 60% of the differences in the profits among banks, that is explained by the differences in their number of fixed deposits। 60% एक्सप्लेन कर ले गए तो वेरिएशन आ रहा। अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है, व्हाट डज रिमेनिंग 40% रिप्रेजेंट? अभी 40% का वेरिएशन एक्सप्लेन नहीं हो पाया। इसके लिए क्या करेंगे? Percent of variation or differences in the profit owned by banks that can be accounted for by all other potential predictors not included। या तो मॉडल हुए जो मेन प्रेडिक्टर्स थे वो अभी हमने मॉडल पे नहीं ले पाए, या इसके अलावा बियॉन्ड नंबर ऑफ फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स या अनएक्सप्लेन्ड रैंडम चांसेस कोई ना कोई रहे हैं। तब कोरिलेशनल रिसर्च जब हम कर रहे हैं तो उसके लिए इस 40% को हम कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करें, तो उसके लिए हमने बैंक वालों से बात करी। हमने कहा कोई और डेटा आप दे सकते हैं, तो उन्होंने कहा यस आई कैन। इस आर स्क्वायर को थोड़ा यहाँ पर समझ लें, उसके बाद हम नेक्स्ट डेटा को इनकॉर्पोरेट करें। एक्चुअली दिस आर स्क्वायर जो 60% निकल कर आया है, इसका मतलब क्या है? इट इज ए मेजर ऑफ आवर सक्सेस रिगार्डिंग द एक्यूरेसी ऑफ आवर एस्टिमेशन एफर्ट। जो हम पहले सिंपल 8 बैंक का प्रॉफिट लेके चल रहे थे, फिर हमने उसमें एक वेरिएबल इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दिया, उससे एरर का मिनिमाइजेशन हुआ एस्टिमेशन करने पर और हमारी एरर कम होगी। R square is nothing but the percentage of estimation error that we have been able to explain away by using the regression. Instead of पहले हम मीन से यूज करके एस्टिमेशन एरर एस्टिमेट कर रहे थे, लेकिन रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन को यूज करके किस तरीके से हमने कितने परसेंट एस्टिमेशन एरर को एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. The second important R square indicates how much better we can predict Y from the information about the independent variable rather than using its own mean. Or we can say that R square is the percent of differences or variation in Y values that is explained by attributable to the differences in the X values, that is in the independent. When dealing only with the two variables, तो हमने आपको बताया था R square यानी कि कैपिटल R square, तो कोरिलेशन पियर्सन्स का स्क्वायर जो है वो R square के बराबर होता है. यदि आप करके देखें तो दिस R square is 0.591 0.76, यही चीज हमारी वहां पर आ रही है. जरा इसको ग्राफिकली सॉरी एग्जामिन करके देख रहे हैं. नंबर ऑफ फिक्स डिपॉजिट हमने एक्स एक्सिस पे ले रखे, वाई एक्सिस पे प्रॉफिट दिया. ये हमारी मेन लाइन थी, ये हमारी लाइन ऑफ बेस्ट फिट यानी कि रिग्रेशन लाइन बनी. न्यू एरर अनएक्सप्लेन्ड रेजिडुअल हमारा ये आ गया. ये लाइन में देखिए पहले Z1 इधर ग्रीन से हम दिखा रही हैं, रिग्रेशन लाइन बनने के बाद फिर ये ब्लू लाइन हो गया और फिर भी हमारा लाइन बच गया एज एरर आ गई. इसको एक्सप्लेन्ड बाय रिग्रेशन मॉडल कहेंगे ब्लू वाले को. और दूसरा जो आएगा द अमाउंट ऑफ एस्टिमेशन एरर फॉर 8 banks by using simple regression. That is the regression method that includes only information about the number of fixed deposit. Again, a question is that can we reduce the amount of estimation to an even lower level and thus improving the estimate process, and if we can, then how? Yes, by adding information on a second variables suspected to be strongly related to the profit. For example, number of saving accounts. यदि हम नंबर ऑफ प्रॉफिट्स के साथ साथ में नंबर ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट्स, फिक्स डिपॉजिट के साथ साथ नंबर ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट्स को भी देख लें, तब बैंक के प्रॉफिट पे क्या इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा. अब आप देखिए फर्स्ट कॉलम में 1 से 8 बैंक्स हैं. एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट हमने पहले रिकॉर्ड कर रखा था. फिर नंबर फर्स्ट स्टेप पे नंबर ऑफ फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स हमने लिए थे, उस पे रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन बनाकर देखी थी. जब उसमें 40% एरर एक्सप्लेन करने को रह गई थी, तो उस 40% एरर को और मिनिमाइज करने के लिए नंबर ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट्स उस बैंकों में कितना है. We now can attempt to estimate profit from our information on number of FDs, fixed deposits, and number of saving bank accounts. जब हमने इसको ऐड कर दिया तो हमारा XYZ प्लेन आ जाएगा, यानी कि प्लेन जेनरिक इक्वेशन स्ट्रेट लाइन ना होकर एक प्लेन की इक्वेशन 3 डायमेंशन पर बनेगी. Y is equal to A plus B1X and B2Y. और ये हमने कोशिश करी है अपने हाथ से स्लाइड में किस तरीके से आपको दिखाया जा सके. तो यहाँ पर X1 एक एक्सिस ले रखी है, नंबर ऑफ FDs, ये ब्लू लाइन आप देख रहे होंगे यहाँ पर, नंबर ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट्स, और फिर हमने इसको प्लॉट करने की मैनुअली कोशिश करी है। यद्यपि आजकल ग्राफिक का जमाना है और दुनिया भर के कंप्यूटर में एन डायमेंशन मशीन लर्निंग के माध्यम से मसूद सर आपको बताएंगे। जस्ट आई वांट टू गिव यू द कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइजेशन ऑफ द रिग्रेशन स्टेप्स कि हम लोग बचपन में ऐसा करते थे। बचपन मीन्स क्या, आज से 30 साल पहले या 40 साल पहले, व्हेन आई वाज डूइंग बीएससी, इस तरीके के 3D ग्राफ्स बनाते थे और तब एरर का मिनिमाइजेशन को कोशिश करते थे कि किस तरीके से ये आर स्क्वायर इंटरप्रेट होगा। Let's now see how much error in the estimation we are committing by using the multiple regression model. फिर estimated line हमने बनाई, number of actual profit हमारे पास था, x1 number of fixed deposits थे, x2 number of saving accounts थे। रिग्रेशन एस्टिमेट पर निकालने के लिए क्या करेंगे, x1 की वैल्यू हम नंबर ऑफ एफडी से रखेंगे और x2 की वैल्यू नंबर ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट। तब हमें फिर दोबारा रिग्रेशन एस्टिमेट मिलेगा, प्लस या माइनस आएगा, उसको फिर हम एरर निकालेंगे, एरर का स्क्वायर करेंगे। एक वेरिएबल और जोड़कर देखा तो हमारे पास इतना आ गया। और this is again known as sum of square due to residual or error. Unique contribution of x2 यानी कि number of saving accounts जोड़ देने से क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ा या कितनी एरर कम हो गई होगी, इसको यदि हम मैनुअली देखें, that is the multiple regression model for our example is equal to this plus 0.76x 1.013x. Y-intercept A. Only when all x's can meaningfully take on value of 0, the intercept will have a meaningful or direction practical interpretation. Otherwise, it is simply an aid in increasing the accuracy of estimation. This is the key point which I want to share all of you in the correlational studies. And what is the meaning of this regression coefficients, B1 and B2? The first regression coefficient B1 is 0.76. What it means? It means that among banks, an increase in number of FDs by 1 would, on an average, result in 0.76 more profit. Similarly, X2 is our saving accounts. So 0.013 is associated as a regression coefficient. This means that the number of saving accounts, if increased by 1, then it will result in an average increase of 0.013 profit. B, the represent effect of each x on y when all other x's are controlled for or held constant taken into consideration. That is, these are the after impacts of all other variables which are uncounted. This is our multiple linear regression equation. Now let us see that what is our new R square. It comes out to be 64% instead of 60% as it was earlier. The percent of difference in bank's account of profit, that is explained by differences in number of FDs as well as number of saving accounts. And again, if you recall that earlier it was 60%, by increasing the number of saving accounts, this R square has been computed as 64% because we have increased one more variable. And again, there is a remaining 36% R square is there. Percent of variation in profit that can be accounted for by all other relevant factors not included in the model beyond the number of FDs or saving accounts. And the unexplained variables are there, are unexplained random or some chance causes or erratic fluctuations are there. We can again have an third variable. अब 36% को कम करने के लिए हमने एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट के साथ में नंबर ऑफ फिक्स डिपॉजिट लिया था, नंबर ऑफ फिक्स डिपॉजिट के बाद में जो कि कहते हैं नंबर ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट्स लिया, नंबर ऑफ अब लोन्स लिया. We now can attempt to estimate profit from our information on number of FDs, number of saving accounts, number of loans. Our regression model will be 3D की जगह 4 dimension, जिसको I could not draw. Manually हम नहीं कर सकते. And that will be a linear plane. Y is equal to A plus B1 x1 B2 x2 plus B3 x3. B1, B2, B3 are regression coefficients associated with the number of FDs, number of saving accounts, and number of loans provided by the banks. This is our regression model as we computed from A, B, and C. Now, what is our new R square? That comes out to be 75%. Now, you notice that when we incorporated the number of saving bank accounts of the bank, it was from 60 to 64%. But as soon as we have added statistically the data of loans provided by the bank, our R square just rises to almost 75% or 0.749. It means that the effect of number of loans are much higher than the number of saving bank accounts in the respective banks. This is an interesting research and present a difference in banks and profit that number of loans are affecting much more. Now, again, there is a question that what about the remaining 25%? In that situation, we may add one more variable as a important figure of the bank. That may be some other type of variables which may have the influence on the profits of the banks, or they may have unexplainable random or erratic variations. So this is the concept of all normal. This I want to share my one of the important presentation. I will share my presentation to for participants. This I did in last 37 years. This is the very important slide for each and every researcher, that there is nothing to study any book of statistics. अक्सर आप लोग स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस स्टडीशन के पास जाते हैं, एज प्रोफेसर श्रीवास्तव वाज सेइंग कि स्टैटिस्टिक्स का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस है. This slide I prepared for all social sciences and all practitioners who are dealing with the data. किसी भी एनालिसिस करने के लिए किसी भी सॉफ्टवेयर को आप यूज कर रहे हो, आपको स्टैटिस्टिक्स की किताब, किसी भी किताब को पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है। इफ यू सिर्फ इस स्लाइड को विजुलाइज करें, 2 स्लाइड फॉर विच आई हैव बीन अवार्डेड डेटा साइंटिस्ट फॉर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया। यहां पर देखिए, हमने जैसे आपको कंपैरिजन ऑफ 2 ग्रुप्स करना है, जहां कर्सर अब ले गए हैं, ये ब्लैक ट्रंकेटेड लाइन है। इफ योर ग्रुप्स आर अनपेयर्ड, तब आप उस पे देखेंगे कि 3 सिचुएशंस आपकी बन जाएगी। रेशियो इंटरवल होगा, डेटा होगा, जैसा हमने वहां पर देखा था मेजरमेंट, या ऑर्डिनल होगा या नॉमिनल होगा। यदि रेशियो इंटरवल का डेटा है आपका ऑब्जर्वेशंस, then you will check its normality. If it is not normally distributed, then you will apply unpaired t-test. यदि आपका डेटा not normally distributed है, तो you will apply Mann-Whitney test. If it is ordinal, तो ये देखिए एरो आपको दिखाई दे रहा होगा, that again you will apply Mann-Whitney test. Similarly, if your in unpaired group, your variables are in the nature of nominal, then instead of unpaired t-test or Mann-Whitney test, you will apply Fisher's test, that is chi-square test for large sample. यदि ये स्लाइड आपके पास है, तो आपको किसी प्रकार की स्टैटिस्टिकल या स्टैटिस्टिशियन की जरूरत नहीं। यदि आप पेयर्ड ग्रुप देख रहे हैं, पेयरिंग कर रहे ग्रुप्स हैं, और उसका डेटा आपके पास है, अगेन फिर देखिए ब्लैक लाइन एरो करके हमने नीचे बना रखा है, रेशियो इंटरवल है, तो फिर आप टेस्ट करेंगे नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड एंड नॉट नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड। सॉफ्टवेयर में डाल दिया, सपारो विल्स टेस्ट से, केएस टेस्ट से, या एंडरसन डार्लिंग टेस्ट जैसे मिनी टाइम में होता है, उससे उसकी नॉर्मलिटी चेक कर ली। इफ इट इज नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड, तो पेयर टी टेस्ट लगा दीजिए। नॉट नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, तो विल्कॉक्सन टेस्ट लगा दीजिए। इफ योर वेरिएबल इज ऑर्डिनल इन नेचर, again you apply Wilcoxon test. सिर्फ Wilcoxon test का फॉर्मूला का बटन दबाना है। If your data is nominal by nature, then you will have to apply McManus test. तो सीधे McManus test आप जाइए, जो भी सॉफ्टवेयर यूज कर रहे हैं उसमें आपको दिया हुआ है। तो दिस इज द, जितना भी सोशल साइंस पे या मेडिकल साइंस पे या इंजीनियरिंग में या कहीं पर, ये पूरी एक स्लाइड के अंदर पूरा ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन के द्वारा हमने आपके सारे टेस्ट से, इसके बियॉन्ड कहीं पर कोई चीज कहीं पर। सिमिलरली देयर इज अनदर साइड, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स वी हैव आवर स्टैटिस्टिकल टेस्ट्स। आउटकम वेरिएबल्स आर देयर. They may be continuous in nature, categorical, or survival. For example, if they are continuous in nature and we are having one group, one sample t-test we applied for the norm. If our data is not normal, is skewed, then we will apply sign test or signed rank test. If 2 sample tests are there, as Professor Srivastava was telling, that parametric and non-parametric. So if our outcome variable is continuous in nature, we are having 2 groups, we are having normal data or normal distribution data, then we have to apply 2 sample tests. Otherwise, we will have to Mann-Whitney test. For pair t-test, and otherwise for skewed data, Wilcoxon sign test. So this is just gist of the whole statistics applied by the researchers at the various business and social sciences. So this is from all about from my side. If someone is interested to have any question, I am able to stop. I am stop sharing this slide. So now anyone can ask.
Thank you, sir. We have received some questions in the chat box.
Yeah. In chat box, one has asked can single outlier increase or decrease the correlation between variables? The problem of outlier is having a different technique. Whenever we have outliers in our data sets, the effect of correlation will not have, there will be no effect in the correlation if we use the proper detection technique of outliers. As I told you that there are two methods, sampling method and masking method. Sampling method, as I am telling you the one story that in 75 districts of Uttar Pradesh, I am every month dealing with the UP police data. Every FIR are being lodged on online nowadays, and there are 1,536 police stations all across the Uttar Pradesh. We are having the FIR number of records of FIR of all 1536 police stations, and police Uttar Pradesh police has divided into 8 zones and 18 regions, and then 75 districts, and then within 75 districts these police stations are there. So the 4-5 years back there was a DGP OP Singh when I was delivering lecture in the DGP office, but in the UP police to 10 IPS officers. The same question he raised. He said that my data is normal. I suggested him that your data cannot be normal. Police or police ka data normal ho. Anyway, he logged. Then I tried to draw the box plot for the 75 districts taken together. हुआ क्या कि एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट बाहर निकल गया, आउटलायर की तरह T2. दैट आउटलायर को उन्होंने कहा कि अच्छा इसको आप हटा दीजिए, 74 का प्लॉट करिए. देन विद इन ए फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड जो कि कहते हैं आई शोड इन द बॉक्स प्लॉट ऑफ 74. तो पता चला एक कोई दूसरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट निकल आया, फिर तीसरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट निकल आया, फिर चौथा डिस्ट्रिक्ट निकल आया. जैसे जैसे हम आउटलायर को निकालते चले जाएं, एज ही था जो भी डीजीपी ही वाज सेइंग, वो कम होता चला गया. और अल्टीमेटली you will be surprised to know that there are only 37 districts that became normal. Statistically 75 minus 37 districts निकाल दिए गए स्वैम्पिंग मेथड से आउट करके. Even then the correlation became the same. तो आउटलायर को यदि आप आउटलायर टेक्निक्स के द्वारा निकाल रहे हैं तो definitely there will be no change in regression concepts. And same is the situation whenever you ask at the data correlation, does correlation and dependency mean the same thing? I have already told that there are two techniques are two methods, dependency method and interdependency method. So if you are dealing with the dependency method, interdependency method, then you will have to go for a correspondence analysis, discriminant analysis, conjoint analysis, etc., but not for the correlation analysis. This comes under the discriminant analysis. Any other questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, one participant has asked, what are the major applications of linear regression?
Wherever we are interested to find out the dependency or interdependency between the variables which are under consideration in any research, then that is must. Without regression, you cannot predict or control. The linear regression of dependent variable over the independent regression lines are there. Sometimes, for example, someone has also asked some rural areas relating the correlation. जैसे फसल होती है, क्रॉप होती है, क्रॉप का यील्ड जो है वो डिपेंड करती है कि नंबर ऑफ मैन्योर्स कितना है, कितना क्वांटिटी का मैन्योर डाला, वाटर लॉगिंग हमने कितना किया, किस तरीके का वैरायटी लिया है, किस फर्टिलिटी ग्रेडियंट हमारा क्या था, इन सारे फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करता है. तो क्रॉप की यील्ड को प्रिडिक्ट करना कि 2023 में छत्तीसगढ़ में गेहूं की इतनी क्रॉप होगी, उसको निकालने के लिए रिग्रेशन के बिना हम नहीं कुछ कर सकते. दूसरी तरफ हम टारगेट अपना फिक्स कर दें कि 2023 में गेहूं की इतनी क्रॉप चाहिए हमें, तो हम अपने इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल को रिग्रेशन के मीडियम से कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं कि कितना मैन्योर दें या कितना फर्टिलिटी रखें, किस वैरायटी का रखें, जो इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल को हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. तो देयरफॉर इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू प्रिडिक्ट एज वेल एज द control the dependent as well as the independent variable. And here the application of regression is very much. So wherever or whenever we are having more than two variables, then there is always need to find a relationship among the variables or between the variables. And that can be done only by regression analysis or correlational research. Anything?
Sir, is my voice audible? Sir, one person has asked, is regression a necessary step after doing correlation analysis?
Yeah, if he or she is interested for prediction or control, as I discussed, just I told you. If simply related to find out the correlation coefficient, then it's sufficient. Now, if interested for the prediction or control of independent variables, exogenous variables, only then regression is must. Any other question?
Hello.
Yes.
So the students want to ask which method of correlation they should use.
What
Carl Pearson or Spearman rank correlation?
I have given you the difference between the two. Carl Pearson is the correlation where the variables are metric. And whenever we are calculating the correlation coefficient or try to find out the correlation coefficient by giving ranks, not there is a metric instrument to measure the characteristics. जैसे for example height and weight, हम के बीच में रिलेशन निकालना है तो हाइट को मेजर कर सकते हैं, वेट को मेजर कर सकते हैं. There is an instrument, a numeric, not metric values are there. So here we have to move for the correlation, Carl Pearson correlation coefficient. But if we are interested to find out the correlation coefficient between the color of a person with the color of their hairs, बालों का रंग और स्किन का कलर का कोई मेजरमेंट डिवाइस नहीं है, तो नॉन मैट्रिक हुआ. तो इन दैट सिचुएशन वी हैव टू गिव द रैंक्स, एंड अंडर दोस सिचुएशन वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द रैंक कोरिलेशन. दिस इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस.
Sir, another question is, what is the difference between correlation and covariance?
Covariance.
Yes, sir.
Covariance is just a mathematical term. The correlation coefficient is equal to covariance divided by under root variance of x and under root variance of y. Covariance is just a mathematical term which is used to give the formula of correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient का जो formula होता है उसमें numerator में जो value रखी जाती है, that is known as covariance.
Okay, sir. One more question we are taking here. Does correlation and dependency mean the same thing?
Thus,
Sir, are correlation and dependency the same thing?
no, they are totally different. Correlation measures the degree of linear relationship between the two. That's why I have first given you the picture of correlation coefficients in detail, and then we switch over the concept of regression analysis, or regression, or dependency, or interdependency methods.
Sir, also we have one question from the faculty side, that can you give some example of application of correlation in rural area?
I have just given you the example of the crop and irrigation. जो एग्जाम्पल बता रहे थे, दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ द कितना हमने मैन्योर दिया और उसका यील्ड में क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, या कितना इरिगेशन का यूज किया हमने, फर्टिलिटी ग्रेडियंट कितना रखा, उसका हमारा क्या यूज कोरिलेशन होगा यील्ड ऑफ दैट क्रॉप. तो दैट इज द एग्जाम्पल. सोशल सर्वे जितना हम लोग करते हैं रूरल एरिया में, जैसा हाउस सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप है वो ज्यादा बेटर है, या इंडिपेंडेंट ग्रुप पे जो काम कर रहे हैं वो बेटर है. एजुकेशनल स्टेटस गांव का अपलिफ्टमेंट हो रहा है किन किन फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करता है, कितना रिलेशन पर डिपेंड करता है.
Thank you, sir. That is all the questions we have for us. Sir, I would like to thank you for being online with us. And you have started from history of statistics from 17th century till date and explained us about various statistical methods, both descriptive and inferential. You have also emphasized in your session about studying the basic concepts of statistics to better learn and the advanced concepts of AI and machine learning. How to statistically present data through graphical and numerical method, that also you have explained us, sir. the concept of outliers, role of normality, about multivariate, bivariate data. You have also explained us about the types of correlation, linear, non-linear, different types of correlation coefficients, Carl Pearson, Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation, and a very important concept about coefficient of determination. You have also emphasized in your lecture the concept of regression analysis and commonly used statistical tests. So you have rightly said that before moving into the advanced concepts, we should first clear our basic understanding of the basic concepts of statistics and research. In your lecture, you have explained this concept in very easy language with a lot of real life examples. So, on behalf of organizing committee, School of Studies in Business Management, Shahid Mahendra Karma Vishwavidyalaya Bastar, I extend my thank you, sir, for joining us today for our first technical session and giving us valuable insights on correlational research. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Should I stop? I am leaving the meeting.
We are hoping to stay connected with you in future, sir.
Okay.
We will seek your guidance and your expert lectures like this in future, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I am leaving.
Thank you so much, sir. We are taking a short break for the lunch. So all the offline participants and the online participants are requested to join together, to join us again for the second technical session from 2 p.m. Thank you.